Waratahs beat Southern Districts in Nightcliff. They've got a bit of an inconsistent forward line, but St Mary's have got a young side in inconsistency as well. Some of the players I'm looking forward to watching for St Mary's include Ryan Smith in his 150th, Ben Rioli in his 100 games, also Nathan Paredes, Shannon Rioli, Anthony Wilson, Francis Canteri. For Waratahs, Timmy Mosquito, Justin Biegler, Abraham Ankers, Samuel Waddell, Zach Westerberg, and Sam Godden, who seems to be a really good kick on a left footer. I really like left footers.
And that's some pretty good names in there as well, being the first game after Christmas. We'll see who ate the most and probably drank the most, because they always struggle the first game after Christmas. I can put my hand up and say I usually do. But yeah, as we spoke about, Ryan Smith, he is now a Club Life member, and combined with his NT Thunder games becomes an AFL NT Life member as well. So also a 3-time premiership player, Ryan Smith, playing his 150th. Ben Rioli, 100 games. He also gets the NTFL Life membership as well, due to the combined of the NT Thunder games. So he's a 4-time premiership player, and of course the brother of the captain, Shannon Rioli. And we've got another interesting fact here for this game as well. Anthony Long is playing his first game, I think, since the grand final of the 2015-16 season when he done his knee.
So what is the qualification this year? Is it 5 or 6 games this year? So he will literally have to play every game between now and the end of the season to actually qualify for the finals. The interesting thing about both sides, and Waratahs on paper look pretty good for my money, Fred, because they've got a fairly strong, I mean, Abraham Ankers and Sammy Godden are 2 very strong midfielders. They're going to come up against 2 very good midfielders from St Mary's, Nathan Paredes and Shannon Rioli. So we're going to see a battle there. But what is interesting is that as good as Zach Westerberg is in the ruck, Ryan Smith has a bit of height on him. How do you see that ruck contest panning out? Because Westerberg's probably not too bad around the ground, but Ryan Smith's pretty good on the tap.
I think Ryan and Westerberg really play a sort of similar games in some ways. They're really good top ruckmen. They're really good around the ground. Their skills are pretty good. So I think, and you said again, the midfield of Waratahs and the midfield of St Mary's, I think that's where it'll be won. Like I said before, the forward lines lack some inconsistencies in both Waratahs and in St Mary's.
There's no obvious goal scorer, is there, for either side?
No,
I don't see any, and I think the game's going to be won in the midfield. Which team can really dominate the midfield? And the more opportunities you're going to get at the forward line, the more opportunities you're going to get score. And like I said, when you've got make those opportunities count, it's scoreboard pressure. So the more goals you get, the team then starts feeling it. Also, I remember playing straight after Christmas as well. I tell you, you definitely got out the Christmas pudding and the cakes and the ice cream. And, you know, the first 5 minutes of this game will really determine how the players come. Their mentality, I think that's the biggest thing, is how will they go? Some players, will they fold? Is this too hard? Or some players, will they really ravage it and think? So the team that works the hardest, to me, is the one that's got a good opportunity.
It's still reasonably hot out there too. There's not much cloud cover, Natasha, and we watched Darwin and Nightcliff go round out there at that 2 o'clock game. I'm just wondering how much this first half is going to take it out of the players, given the heat and the conditions, as we've seen St Mary's come onto the field. In fact, Waratahs as well, the umpires are already out. This is going to be a real battle, I think, to see who has had the most discipline, not the most cake, but the most discipline over Christmas perhaps.
And also the training as well. I know that a lot of the clubs, including in the women's premiership race as well, like we've been training over the Christmas and New Year's break, which of course you have to do. It's professional football up here now, and as we said, post-Christmas, anyone, if you get the momentum going to win these next 7 games, including this game, to get into the finals, you can. And just looking at that ladder, you know, even Wanderers and Tiwi that are sitting on, you know, second last and last on 12 points, if they get the momentum going, they can also make finals. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they both go out here today, but it's good to see that both team lists are looking strong, especially when there's been some talk of teams trying to get some players.
Just on that, with the team list, Saints have had a very settled side for most of the season, Fred, yet they're sitting 6th. Can you put a finger on that, on why that might be? I think on paper they're a very strong side.
I think it comes back to just the turnover. Last year they lost about 5 or 6 really good players. You had Iggy Villager, Johnny Anstairs, Noodles McFarlane, those guys, and they had a lot of experience, a lot of premierships with them. So these young fellas are given their opportunity and have to really take the chance. Some of them may make the most of it, some of them may fail, but it's really an opportunity for them. And St Mary's are in a revitalisation and very rare for them period of their life. So it'll be really interesting to who stands up with the St Mary's Footy Club. and how the young fellas feel. But also, in any situation, it takes leaders.
It does. And with Waratahs, we've seen their leadership change at the coaching panel, and I just find that, I mean, Ryan's obviously, he was ready to coach. He's demonstrated, and he's demonstrated his ability because of where Tars are. What do you make of Waratahs in terms of their decision to appoint him and whether or not they're getting results out of it?
I think Ryan, I read the paper the other day, I think Ryan's really up for it. He said he's bringing a really good side, he wants to win, and he's really up for it about trying to win the premiership. As any coach after Christmas, you've got to be confident in your team. You've got to back your team no matter where you sit. And I think, as we call it the Wanderers, syndrome.
And I got a text from Liz Cruz just about a minute ago. Yes, the late withdrawal was Anthony Long.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was the one that got together the stats for the milestone players today. So she apologised. He was a late withdrawal, and he's actually the runner down there. So I guess maybe they're still nursing him with that knee injury. And I'm pretty sure that you had to play to qualify. You had to play at least one game pre-Christmas.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but and you'll forgive me. I umpired St Mary's in the last round before Christmas, but is this Marius Clark's first game back as well? I mean, he had a substantial injury. Is this his first game back at Premier League level this season?
I think we may have called him earlier on in the year, probably in the first one or two, maybe possibly 3 rounds of the season when they were really changing the guard at St Mary's. I think Brett Renouf's done a really good job so far. He's got a young team out there, but as you said, hasn't been that many changes, and it's good to see that there hasn't been. But Anthony Wilson, he probably hasn't played the last couple of rounds leading into Christmas. He is a massive inclusion. He is killing it in the South Australian Footy League, as we know, and he's electric. So he takes on the game, and that's what you want to see as well.
I remember when St Mary's and Waratahs played the last game at Gardens Oval, and he was more or less one of the most damages, along with Nathan Paredes, the players that day at Gardens Oval. So it'll be interesting to see how Waratahs respond, and Ryan Ayres, does he have any game plans? Does any contradict Nathan Wilson or Nathan Paredes?
It's a good question, isn't it? If you're Ryan Ayres, do you go out to stop St Mary's, or do you go out to make them chase you? Tars look pretty fit out there. Do you just play your own style of footy and make them catch up? What do you do?
I think you play your own style. You stick to your structures until things go really wrong. Then maybe you sort of change your game plan a bit. But Ryan Ayres seems to be that sort of coach, as we know. Done his apprenticeship underneath Shannon Rusker, and they won the premiership last year. So I think he'll stick to his structures. He's pretty confident in his players, and as you said, they look very fit. I know they have been training over the Christmas break, so a lot more mature aged players out there as well compared to St Mary's. So I think that he'll stick to his structures, and I think Brett Renouf will as well.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Like I said before, the battle in the midfield is the one for me. The opportunities to go forward for either side will be where it's won. And I suppose, like I said at the beginning, the one that works the hardest, it's really hot out there. Nothing comes back to simple footy, not the flashy, put on a show sort of footy. It's about simple thing after Christmas, working, doing the chasing, the tackling, the 1%ers. That's the thing that's going to win you the games the most.
And they really, really need this game as well, St Mary's. They're just sitting outside the 5. It's a tight race, as we said. I think the top 2 are pretty much locked up, Southern Districts and Nightcliff. I think Buffalo's leading into Christmas were a little bit shaky, but the game just before the Christmas break where they beat Southern Districts, great game of football. They're getting their momentum back, but unfortunately they just lost to the Tigers by 14 points. So, it's interesting to just see that how both teams do take it like a finals-type football game.
Well, for Waratahs, there's far more at stake for them in my mind. I think they could probably consolidate themselves within the 5 with a victory here today, which would be important to them, giving them a level of momentum straight after Christmas with which they can go forward, because they've got a couple of big games. They'll have a big game at Gardens Oval in a fortnight, in a couple of weeks' time, when they play their Australia Day game there against the Eagles. That's always a big day and a big game for them. So I think that they've actually got a fair bit on the line, and for St Mary's it's really going to be about emotion. I appreciate they're in 6th, but I think that I just think Tars will want to prove to everyone that where they are hasn't got anything to do but with luck. I think they've earned their spot in the 5. And let's be honest, they've caused a couple of big boilovers. The one at Southern Districts.
At home, mind you, yes.
At home on a Sunday, no one saw coming. And they've really managed to present themselves. And for that, Ryan Ayres deserves an enormous amount of credit, but I don't think he would be satisfied. And I don't think the senior players within Waratahs will be satisfied with that just being enough. I think they want to take it a bit further and prove themselves.
I think with Waratahs as well, they've beaten the big scalps like Nightcliff and Southern Districts, but they've also lost some games that they're supposed to have won as well. And I think it's in the NTFL and down here, it's the type of football as well, and it comes back to the mentality. Comes back to the simple factors, who's doing the hard work, who's not only on the ground but off it as well. And the mentality is such a huge thing. So who's going to be prepared really to come into this game? Are you really hungry? Are you going to put your body on the line? Because if you back out for 1 second, you don't get a hard ball, that could be a difference between winning and losing. And as you know, when players do something bad things, it's like a virus and it can affect the whole squad. So it's really about which team is mature. I think Waratahs are the more mature group. They have a lot of senior players in the team, and they should be going to this game confident. Whereas St Mary's are really trying to do their best for Ryan Smith and Ben Rioli, the servants of the St Mary's Footy Club. So it'll be a very interesting game.
And probably the bigger bodies as well with Waratahs. They just got just a bit bigger than St Mary's, and Waratahs also won the toss, so they're kicking to the Michael Long, so the left.
Now, I just got a text out of Damien Hale, who's standing in the canteen line, and he tells me that Marius Clark it's his first game back. He had a fractured skull, so he got hurt pretty badly. I knew he was really badly injured, so it's his first game back, so that's interesting. And apparently Longy's played a game pre-Christmas in Div 1.
Okay.
So he needs to play another 5 or 6 to be able to qualify. So thank you very much for that, Damien.
Yeah, thank you, Damien.
Two sides going out to their positions now. What do you think of the state of TIO Oval? It looks a little bit dry for my money, but it's been heavily cut, which probably is what's impacted on the green grass.
I reckon the rain just after New Year's on New Year's Day would have helped it, because I know a lot of ovals around in Darwin weren't looking too flash. That was for sure. So they're just going to their marks here now, getting ready for the siren. So who's your tips, guys?
I'm actually going to go for Waratahs. I just think they'll have a little bit more pace and a little bit more run.
I think St Mary's by 5.
I'm going with Waratahs as the umpire throws a ball up to start this game. Ashley.
Ryan Smith versus Westerberg. It's run out though by Rioli, who goes forward looking for his brother Shannon. Off hands, Raf Clark got his hands on it first. It's picked up, snapped off the ground, and will go through for the first score of the match, which was Matthias Liddy through for a point. And they will settle it down and bring it out straight away. Tars in short. Now they'll kick over the line looking for Westerberg. Disrupted by Ryan Smith, close to the boundary line. Got a bit of a nudge in the back there. Let go. Play on is the call. And the ball will be thrown in just to the left of the St Mary's dugout here at TIO Stadium. Your umpires today, Lance Hutt, Benny Ogden, and Jamison, as there's Jamison Galbraith holding in the ruck. Let go. Paredes with quick hands onto Edwards. Edwards skies it with his right foot. Centre half forward. Ball brought down. No one's really got it. Sliding. Ben Rioli can't get a hold of it. Gives it off to a running teammate. That was Tyler Saunders. Puts it forward. Punched away from his teammate. And Tars will ease the pressure and bring it out through halfback.
On centre wing now. Tars take the mark. Good mark there by Godden. So Sam Godden on centre wing, just looking for his forward to lead. He takes off now, ignores that. Called to play on. Goes long and kicks an absolute shocker. Had no chance there for his forward, but good work to the St Mary's defenders as they backtrack here. Musgrove, that's Jack. Just holding up the ball here, St Mary's. They're not looking to play on quickly.
I think they're just looking around to make sure that they get everyone involved and just take it one step at a time.
Braith Hodges takes the mark. Dangerous kick. Pays off 2-on-2 out there. Well done to St Mary's. And Anthony Wilson, here he goes. He can put on the afterburners here. Has a bounce. Has 2. He can have another one. He has 3. He can have another one. No, he hand passes inboard. Probably not the best hand pass we've seen from him, but he's going to go and mop it up. He does. Gets taken high. The umpire says play on. Paredes puts his body on the line as always. St Mary's looking dangerous here, but Waratahs are going to kick it out of defence.
Westerberg again versus Smith. Smith from behind will claim the mark, and he's been rewarded it. So he'll go back and have I would suggest, a deliberate shot at goal from 40 metres out. He'll probably kick from 45. So the 150 gamer.
Wouldn't this be a good way to start the game, Fred?
Absolutely. As a former ruckman, I definitely know you to practice kicking your footy.
Send his confidence through the roof. Right foot leans back into it. It's going to drift off to the right, but on the edge, inside, he's got a teammate. I can't pick him out from out there.
Delahunty, I reckon
That's
that is.
Delahunty.
Was that a pass?
Smith will be telling it tonight at the club it was a pass. Comes back in board though. It's going to be cleaned up by Tars. No, it's not. Again, quick hands from Yaron. Looking for his captain, Shannon Rioli, off the ground. Can't do it. Loose on the ground. No one can pick it up. There's going to be a stoppage and a ball up, I'd say.
You can definitely see that both teams are playing intensity. This is like a finals type intensity. They're really going for it.
It's very exciting. So 15 metres out from St Mary's goal. The umpire throws it up. Punches forward from St Mary's ruckman there. Timmy Mosquito's there for Waratah's. Hand passes it to a teammate. Goes back. They're trying to get it out of the 50. Here they are in their player here. Waratah's. Does he keep it in? He does. No, the umpire said it went out. So the ball's going to be thrown in around about 80 metres from the St Mary's goal on the far side. So an interesting start to the game.
Good matchup there, sorry. James Ray and Nathaniel Paredes there. That's a pretty good matchup.
Oh, that's fantastic. We worth to pay you money to watch that matchup.
So Delahunty and Westenberg go at it. They're putting their bodies on the line here. This is a great start to a footy game. St Mary's kick it forward 10 metres. Shannon Rioli with his soccer skills kicks it forward into the 50. Delahunty gets there first, uses his body, picks up the ball, twists, gives it to Paredes, gets it on the left boot. Sitting there in front of the goals, Nick Yaron. Yaron can't take it. Hand passes back to Raph Clark. Raph Clark dances inside out, gets it on the outside of the boot and just misses the goal. Good build up there to St Mary's. So St Mary's are leading by 2 points here. Waratah's yet to score.
Early signs very good for St Mary's. Tars, short pass dropped. Blake can't pick it up. Loose again. Brought back in. Caught was Yaron. Still let it go. Umpire's just letting it go. Knocked forward there. Taken high, I thought was Musgroves. Let it go. Play on is the call. The body's over the head over the ball. Free kick given advance. Play on is called. That was Abraham Anchors. Oh, good mark there,
really
taken.
Mark, that's got to be Sam Waddell.
Yeah, Waddell gave them a target in front of Musgrove. Goes in short looking for his teammate and finds him. That's James Ray. Jack Long bouncing up and down on the mark. Ray takes his time. He's going to get called to play on, and he is. He goes in short over the top. Well, no one really presented themselves, and he just kicked to an open space.
That was great play by Sam Waddell. His skills when he got the mark, but also his great kick on his left foot really set up James Ray. But they just missed out James Ray and the bad kick out there. But Waratah's skills really well in that time.
I've got to say, sorry Tash, Waddell's probably a bit far forward for my liking. I'd rather see him out of the square.
He's a great utility player, Waddell.
I think he's providing a target up forward, then going back.
Yeah.
And then both ruckmen didn't read the throw in there, so it dropped short. And this is a thing that we've seen quite often in Premier League. The ruckman, you think after all these games would sort of get where the umpires, they always aim for the middle. I've spoken to Gary Neenan, and he's assured me during our work meetings that the umpires are doing the right thing, and that's a great ball. And again, they're just standing back, so Delahunty gets there first. Dangerous here. It's picked up by the Waratahs player, looks inboard, tries to square it, chopped off by Saunders. Saunders plays on. I thought he played on there. No, the umpire said he didn't. Well, very lucky there.
I thought he played on as well, so he took a couple of steps forward, so it was, yeah, interesting.
So he finds a teammate on his own out here, and Braith Hodges doesn't take the mark. A hand in there from the Waratahs player in the back, so Braith Hodges with the free kick for St Mary's. Just short of centre wing here, goes back to the general in the back line. That's Jack Long. So just looking to clear the defensive half here, St Mary's, and again, they're just holding possession, gets out to Saunders. Saunders can play on here. He's got a paddock in front of him, has a bounce, then decides to go across the field. Not a good kick for his teammate, and Jack Musgrove, I reckon it's going to go out of bounds, and it does. That's a poor decision there by Saunders, and he just says sorry to his teammate there.
Yeah, when you've got the ball like that, you've got to own the ball, and you've got to own the skill as well. So poor execution by Saunders. He should have done a lot more better with that with someone on the open.
Well, I think what we're seeing is the intensity early on. Nearly 7 minutes gone here. and skill levels just starting to drop off as the intensity's been maintained. Loose on the ground there, it's been picked up by Brodie Carroll, gets onto his left, tries to set it up, pop it up, coming across though, go through for the first score for Tars. That's their first point of the game. So just 3 points scored in the entire game, 2 to St Mary's, 1 to Waratahs. We've gone 7.5 minutes.
So Jack Long with the quick kick out finds his teammate in Frawley. So still in the back pocket here, St Mary's ignores the lead from Edwards, goes further afield, Clark, comes down to Wilson, and a good smother there by the Waratahs player. Anthony Wilson started this game, got a few touches, looking exciting.
Yeah, he's looking really exciting. So I think they've put some Waratahs pressure on him, so they know he's a really line breaker.
And here come the ruckmen. I think they need to come in more. They're standing about 50 metres away from the umpire here. Good ruck contest there. Westenberg hits it down. The Waratahs player, they've picked up a free kick. Good umpiring there. Thought that was high. The free kick is going to Flanagan. Kicks it into the 50. Not much there. Jack Long's underneath it. Got eyes for the ball. He puts a fist there, but it comes down to Waratah's player. Close to the boundary, and it's taken over the boundary line. So just the intensity and the physical pressure out there is excellent.
Yeah, and the great play by Jack Long, backing way into the pack and putting his fist there.
Brave, backing into a pack when you know what's coming.
It's that bigger body of the types of Flanagan that will be helpful. That was a great throw in. Smith was the only one who was ready and prepared for it. Picked up by Edwards, loose off the ground. In there, still diving on it. Still no one can get it out. Now it does, hurried up by Musgrove, right foot into the square. But it is all Waratahs, and that's Cantilla. He goes in short, picks out Flanagan. Standing the mark is Clark for St Mary's. Flanagan really doesn't have a lot of options. He's looking for Waddell. Waddell's actually on his own, and he can set it up, and he does. Waddell sets himself, but it goes over the top. Musgrove read it best. Touch call, play on, comes to Smith. Smith sends it out. It's going to go right out of bounds on that far side. Beating, it looked like Yaron.
Begona Ross, I think that is.
Begona Ross.
And he had a bit of space there as well if Musgrove could have hit his target.
Just that skill execution again. St Mary's, the backline are really under pressure, but they're holding up really well. Let's see if Waratahs can penetrate that for their first goal.
So 9.5 minutes in, and St Mary's 2 points, Waratahs 1. Umpire throws it in, dances around Nick Yaron, kicks it up past centre wing, looking for some Clark, and a good one-hander taken there by the Waratahs defender. Hand passes to a teammate running pass. Looking to switch the play here, kicks it all the way out to a teammate in Zobel. Zobel has a player running for him. I think that's Mosquito. So Timmy Mosquito here on centre wing, just a short kick. Keeping possession of the footy here. Waratahs, that's Simpson. Daniel Simpson kicks it inboard, looks for a teammate and Godden. It's a bullet of a kick, but finds the St Mary's defender. Well done to Frawley, takes the mark in the defensive 50 for St Mary's.
Yeah, now what they're going to do with the ball is go backwards. Now see, they're looking to see if they can switch the play, which is a really good sign for St Mary's. Now see the ball execution.
Well, they've come loose, and it's one-on-one and a foot race in front of the scoreboard. 10.5 minutes gone. The ball will beat them out of bounds. Been out of bounds a few times in this quarter already. Just the 2 points to St Mary's, 1 point to Tars. Bit of an arm wrestle here at the moment. You
can see they're really feeling each other, and I think the heat's still getting to some of the players. St Mary's are holding up in the back line really well, and Waratahs are really holding well in the midfield.
Well, one out there by Westerberg. It's come loose, picked up by Flanagan, goes for a canter, gets to the 50. Right foot looking for Waddell. Waddell sets himself, got 2 hands on it, but couldn't quite control it. Went through, and the scores are level at 2 points each.
You can see that Waratahs are really controlling the midfield now, and there were about 3 or 4 players running with Flanagan. So Waddell nearly had the mark, but he just spilt it.
So poor Jimmy with the kick out finds a teammate in Frawley. Frawley plays on, looking up the centre wing here, and nearly a good mark there, but Waratahs just managed to get a hand in.
They're pairing up really well, Tars. So when Saints are bringing it out, they're manning up very good.
Yeah, Saints are finding it very hard to break this centre wing here. So just getting held up. So 11.5 gone. 1 point the difference here. Still no goal kicked. Westenberg just gets rid of Smith.
And that's a free kick missed.
Umpire says play on. Yaron was held. The umpire says play on. Yaron's going to get the ball back. Can he keep it in? He does. Looks up. Just a short kick. I don't think he was looking for that target. Geez, that's a good 15. If it was that, kicks it over to Benny Rioli. Just dances around one, the 100 gamer. Can go long nut, hand passes to his big brother. Shannon Rioli should go in and nail this, and I've put the mockers on him and he's hit the post.
Unbelievable. Who would have thought Shannon Rioli would have missed a dead set of goal? But great play by the St. Mary's Footy Club. Through Ben and then had a good hand pass to Shannon.
I reckon Shannon just stabbed at that a little bit.
Yeah, 30 metres out.
He kicked through it.
No one around him, had a lot more time and space. So
you belt it and you aim at the satellite dish that's on top of the Michael Long Centre. It's a big, long kick out. The siren's gone. He's gone. The whistle's gone and he stepped over the mark.
Cardinal sin in Premier League
absolutely.
football.
One of the big Cardinals built for everyone, I think. And I think sometimes coaches like to think, I'm sure, that's a coach killer. I'm sure Ryan is, he's rocking back in his chair. It is a Cardinals. Now let's just see how Waratah get out of this situation.
Just keeping an eye on Matthias Liddy down here, doing a bit of a fitness test. We know he's got bad shin splints, so did start the game but then come off.
So it's rushed through for a point.
So another point, still no goal. Nearly 13 minutes gone in this game. And St. Mary's are 4, Waratahs are 2. So interesting start.
I reckon he'll be kicking from about a metre inside the square this time.
He won't go near it.
No.
Let's see if he's learned his lesson.
Just to get that extra millimetre.
He certainly has.
Oh, I reckon he went close to it. Jeez. From the back. But a good mark there taken by Gardner. Looks inboard.
Great kick.
Good, brilliant kick that was. Finds his teammate McKenzie. This is Jordan McKenzie for Waratahs.
Good
Centre
kick.
square. Good lead by the forward there and Blake. So Blake has Bugler, I think. No, he's going to be called out by Cantilla. Cantilla has the ball here on the 50. So the man on the mark's on the 50. Don't think he's got the distance in his leg. He doesn't. And finds a teammate on his own in James Ray.
Great play, Waratahs.
Takes the mark 45 out. It's going to have to kick it from a good, probably 48. Slight angle. Kicking with a slight breeze going across the ground here at Marara. Kicking to the airpoint end, so the right of screen.
I think Ray had that was really their only option in the end, because Waddell had come so far forward that there was no one in the square, and I think Kieran Newell wanted to actually dump it into the goal square, but Ray filled that spot. It was a good pass.
So James Ray kicks it from about 48, keeps it nice and low, hangs in there. We've got the first goal of the game. Goes to Waratahs. James Ray, well done. He just stabbed at that ball, kept it nice and low, and we saw that with Waratahs pre-Christmas as well. They all kept the ball very, very low when going for goal.
What I'm liking at the moment is Waratah's skill level. There was 2 left foot kicks, one in the middle and then one at centre forward, and just laid in front of each other. Didn't try to spiral him on the chest. And Waratah's leading patterns in the forward line is unbelievable. So they're leading out to the 50 midline, then they're turning back in and then going again. So the work ethic is really getting them the rewards that they deserve. Great finish by James Ray. And Waratahs are really working hard in this first instance. So let's just see what Saints can pull back or fight back.
Well, it's a good possession game from Tars, and they've got the midfielders to be able to do it. Westerberg versus Smith. One out by Smith tap. Again. Great tap as Ben Rioli went charging through and then got held, but he's going to get called back. He's got to come back behind the mark before the umpire will let it go. It just shows you the value of Ryan Smith as a ruckman.
Oh, absolutely. That was the second one he did to Ben Rioli, and it's great part.
The kick from Rioli not that good, and the goal scorer, James Ray, will actually chop it off. Send it back to his teammate running. And that's Joel Stevens out in front of the scoreboard. Handball back inside to Blake. Blake has time. He can go very short. He does. Cantilla can't get a hand on it, so Waddell. Waddell picks it up. Left foot looking for a lead out wide and finds Godden, who drops it. Can't do it, unfortunately. Right on the boundary line, he gets caught. And the whistle has gone or not?
For a boundary throw in.
It's going to be boundaries. It's going to be thrown in.
Very lucky there, I thought.
I reckon Godden was very lucky.
Was gone, holding the ball or deliberate?
Well, it was that. It was one of those things where he was over the boundary line by the time it expired, so to speak. Good throw, and Westerberg asking, was I held? Brought to the ground, taken down, but we're going to have a stoppage and the ball up again.
Yeah. I think you can see the bigger body midfielders, Waratahs, are really now claiming change and really working hard and running with each other. Let's see if they can make the most of this momentum. So
St. Mary's going to come out of the defensive 50 here through Nate Paredes, just drives the kick long to centre wing. Well done to the Waratahs defenders here, but picked up by Raphael Clark on centre wing. He's got a St. Mary's player ahead of him on his own. Drives it into the 50. Matthias Liddy's there for St. Mary's. It's in the attacking 50 here for St. Mary's. Liddy picks it up, hand passes over to a teammate who hand passes to a running player in Paredes. Puts it to the top of the square nearly. No, it's near the boundary line. They were looking for Anthony Wilson. Probably a mismatch there, but the boundary umpire says it's gone out, so it's going to be a ball in about 20 metres around from St Mary's goal.
I've already noticed the difference between St Mary's going to their forward line compared to Waratah's going to the forward line. Waratah seem to have a bit more structure and consistency, and the skill level are a bit more better, whereas St Mary's, the kicks aren't just hitting their targets.
Yep.
They're under a fair bit of pressure from that TAR's defenders. Picked up and dancing around was Edwards.
Oh, well done.
Short kick finds Hodges. Braith Hodges at 50 metres out. Michael Long learning centre end is the end he's going to kick to. Left of screen, Hodges goes back in short, out wide, looking for a leading teammate, and it bounces in front of him.
Just a young player there, I guess, as well, Braith Hodges.
Yeah, I think what Braith Hodges did was try to kick off 1 foot instead of gaining momentum and taking a couple of steps forward.
Yep.
And then pushing through, kicking his leg through.
Really work off the mark and give yourself that time and space. And
yeah, I think he had McMurray on the lead, but he probably was better off just looking for some height, which was Raph Clark had set himself beautifully up there. As the ball comes back in, quick kick goes forward, but it's going to go out of bounds again, and that was Edwards.
So it's on the full, I think that one is.
Yep, out of bounds on the full. Play will be restarted by Justin Bugler, who has to jump over the fence to get it. No St Mary's goals so far. 18 minutes gone in this first term. Saints 4 points. They trail Waratahs 1 goal to 8 points. Arm wrestle start.
So Bugler with the free kick finds his teammate Arndell. Looks long, dangerous kick. Edwards is closing and he gets a fist there. Well done to Shawnee Edwards there. The ball goes out of bounds, about 51 metres around from the St Mary's goal. Good effort there by Sean Edwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff, Shawnee Edwards. He could have just stood there and let him take the mark, but he put in the effort to put the punch and give his team an opportunity.
So Raphael Clark at Westonberg. Clark wins the tap down, gets down to Edwards, a quick kick, and he's going to find a teammate all on his own. So the quick kick into the forward 50 for St Mary's has fallen into the arms of Matthew Jeffrey. So he's going to have to kick it from about 45. Kick into the Michael Long, just slide off centre here.
Does he look confident?
He looks like he's going back for it. It's probably going to drop just short. No, and he's just kicked it wayward, and it's gone through for a behind. So St Mary's have their 5th behind of the game, still trailing Waratahs by 2 points.
5 scoring shots to 3. St Mary's have had the opportunities, but like I said, Waratahs are making the most of it.
As Anchors passes it off to a teammate. That's Gooch. Gooch moves it on quickly. Over the top was looking for Godden.
Oh,
interfered with good mark by Frawley. Free kick's going to be paid.
That was a brilliant mark.
It was very good. It was either a mark or a marking infringement.
Yeah,
you can take your choice.
Good body size as well, Frawley. So on centre wing here, looking up. Just bombs it, looking for Raph Clark to have a crack at this. From the back, Parides got high, couldn't take the mark. Wilson picks it up now, he's under pressure. Tries to get out of a tackle, hand passes towards Parides, but it's whacked over the boundary line by Gardner from Waratahs. So another throw-in. A lot of stoppages in this game so far. 20 minutes into this first quarter.
52 out. Westerberg disposes of Raph Clark, let go. Play on is the call. Hodges punches it away for St Mary's. Picked up by Yaron, onto Edwards. Edwards 2 bites, then gets it, tries to step a man and does comfortably. Then does it inside out with his right, looking for Matthias Liddy, who can't get a hand on it. Smith's at the back, roving.
Oh, and it's been touched. He's kicked it straight into the Waratah player that was coming across there, and Arnold. Geez, I don't think he realised he was coming.
6'3" rover.
And absolutely, and I think that comes from the pressure the Waratahs are putting on St Mary's. They could have had a goal there, their first goal. It'd be interesting to see what Brent says at quarter time. A great effort to Waratahs there.
So we end the first quarter. St Mary's haven't kicked a goal, 6 points. Waratahs 1, 2, 8.
She's flying down to Alice today.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts. Garden furniture!
Love you too.
She's off, but he's still got TIO. They cover you for territory weather, cyclone, storm surge, flood, hail, and they're local, so they can respond fast.
TIO? Storm staying, kids.
So we can feel earlier, feel together, real together.
another life saved with the Chemist Warehouse app. Take control of your health and wellness. Download now.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students. We have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona?
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence. No more! Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
You know, he's a good option as well, but of course, you know, do you sacrifice having him up forward, leave him out of the ruck and let Raphael Clark top out with Ryan Smith, you know, and also when Ryan Smith goes forward, he is a noted ruckman that kicks some goals, so just interesting to see how they work with those three as well, because as we said, they don't have that target up forward, but they really need to stick someone up there that can take a mark and kick some goals.
But not only the target, if you put a Ryan Smith or Della Hunt out there, you've got to make sure that you do the right kick for them.
Yeah.
Because you don't, if you're a ruckman, you don't want to kick them up 30 and muddies in front of them and they can't make the mark. And even if you have Matthias Liddy out there, make sure you kick it at a level that he can. So it's about the players really knowing each other, knowing their skill level as well. So I think it'll be interesting to see how St. Mary's come out of quarter time and what Brent says to them. And I'm sure he'll talk about the skill level and the basic 1%ers. But I think Waratahs in the first quarter were really fantastic. I really enjoyed watching their play. And they seem to me at the moment playing better as a team.
Yeah, but it is a good game of football. What about the conditions at the moment? I mean, we know we talked about a bit of the heat, but the wind is quite strong blowing across the ground here at TIO Stadium, here at Marara. So one of the things that panned out during that quarter for me was that both sides were sort of playing that far side of the ground. Do you think they want to play this grandstand side a little bit more in this next quarter, because it's not really favouring an end, but it is blowing across, so you'd be kicking with it if from one of the left-hand pockets or right-hand pocket, depending on which end you're going to.
And also the shade factor as well. Usually when it's this hot, they sort of stick to the grandstand side because that's where the shade's coming over from the grandstand. But, you know, they haven't used this side, as you said, Ash, so it'd be interesting to see and just how they both teams do go out and attack this second quarter, because they both, to me, stuck to their structures. They didn't really make any big moves
changes
or anything like that, you know. So I think both coaches are pretty happy with that start. Brett Renouf, you know, there's been 6 scoring shots to 3. It's just that they can't get the goals at the moment. Shannon Rioli had an easy chance. Ryan Smith had an easy chance, and I thought Sean Edwards had a little bit more time maybe to get a better kick into the goals there, but no left foot, so we had to try and do an inside-out kick.
Well, I've got to say to you, he for my money has been been a stand-up player in this first quarter for St Mary's. He's covered a lot of ground, but he has really given them also a fair bit of body over the ball that's opened up others to be able to come through. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of that type of footballer, and he demonstrates that really, and he's got a bit of an engine on him so he can get up and go again 3 or 4 times.
So it'll be interesting to see what St Mary's come up with. Like I said, the amount of opportunities and the kicks and the handballs and the possession game in the back line, their back line held really strong there. Waratahs could have had a few more opportunities, but back line for St Mary's and the midfield held really well. So it's their forward line, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of structure they come up with and how they look. Waratahs, I think it's just game as usual, just keep playing the way they are, and see how they go.
Frawley looks good back there as well.
I think Frawley,
he gives them a bit of experience, doesn't he?
He does.
He does.
The
and
big
he's
body.
got a lot of experience, and he's been around for a long time.
All right, so just waiting for the players to set here. So the second quarter just about ready to get underway here at Marara. Ashley Manakaris.
Ball thrown high. Westerberg versus Smith. One out by Smith. It's going to be picked up though by Tars. Dumped. And a free kick and a whistle's been sound. There's a high tackle being paid against St Mary's.
Was that off the ball?
No. I think the Tars player got tackled high during the course of it, and the umpire out of zone has helped him. Picked up and kicked on by Cantilla. In the contest was Godden. Over the back, can't get it is Saunders. Foot race, trying to get it socket into the square. Hodges picks it up, can't hit it. Frawley gets it away, quick hands. Over the top it goes to Power Jimmy, and then here they come Musgrove.
That's
onto
better.
Jack Long. That's better and controlled. You heard Fred Murphy there. Back inside, kicked off, can't get it. Clark. Yaron hurried hands. Paredes lets it bounce over his head. It'll go out of bounds in front of the St Mary's coach's box. Will be thrown in. Just a minute gone. St Mary's just 6 straight points they have kicked. Waratahs 1 goal, 2. 8 points. 2 points the difference here. Start of the second term. Westerberg wins it down. Can't really find a teammate now. He does in Mackenzie. Blake can't quite get a hold of it. It's socket off the ground. Loose there. No one can pick it up now. It's tapped out. Trying to come through was Tars. Hurried kick forward. Middle of the ground. Jack Long gets it. Balks. Shows a bit of candy, then puts it on the left boot.
Oh, nice.
That's a better kick.
He's got a runner out there and wide. Is that Wilson?
Yep.
Wilson picks it up in front. Is he? No, it's going to go out of bounds in front of the scoreboard. Well, they had time there.
Well done to Mosquito. I thought Timmy Mosquito there for Waratahs.
Yeah. I was hoping the ball would stay in so we could see a bit of a run chase between Mosquito and Anthony Wilson.
Who would you put the money on?
Oh, it would be a great race.
Yeah, that's for sure. So a boundary throw in on centre wing here, just favouring St Mary's slightly. So Ryan Smith wins the tap down, goes past Matthias Liddy, picked up by Waratahs here, kicks it forward, looking for James Ray, but the ball's going to go out of bounds. I think it was out on the full. It is. So free kick here to Tyler Saunders for St Mary's. Lowers his eyes, finds Liddy. So St Mary's just trying to hold possession of the footy here.
There's no movement at the moment of St Mary's forward line. They're just standing and calling taxis.
So he's gone.
That's a good line.
No, I like that. That's gone to Smith. But Smith had the ball punched away, and then it's just belted towards the boundary line. Out of bounds again on the full. So free kick going to Anthony Wilson here on centre wing. He's going to have to jump the fence and get the ball himself. So a good crowd here today as well for the first round back after Christmas, round 12. Earlier game, the Tigers upset Darwin Buffaloes by 14 points. So back here at Marara, both these teams are looking for a win. Waratahs to cement themselves in that top 5 and St Mary's to try and get there.
There's no movement still. They're still just standing there. So, I mean, you've got to work and play for your teammates.
So, again, it's an up and under kick looking for Smith, but everyone jumps on his back. There it is. So, Edwards picks it up, quick kick out. Picked up here by Godden. Hand passes back to a teammate. They look okay here, trying to run it out defence, and a brilliant hit by Liddy. Turns the ball over in the attacking 50 here for St Mary's. Kicked off the ground by Shannon Rioli. Nick Yaron goes without it. Under pressure here, the Waratahs defenders again. Nicky Yaron puts the tackle on, gets the ball out. There's a lot of players around this ball. Shannon Rioli puts his body in. The umpire says no, he's going to ball it up. So good contested footy there and a good tackle by Matthias Liddy.
Absolutely, and that's what they need in the forward line, is just a really contested footy and really get the pressure on. Great play by Waratah's back line.
As Westerberg, uncontested, just taps it down. No one can pick it up. Frawley tries. Loose on the ground. Raf Clark comes over to help. He gets taken high in the process and has earned himself a free kick.
put his body on the line there, didn't he?
He did. They just wanted to. They've just demonstrated in the last 90 seconds or so, St Mary's, that they're prepared to go in and pick that ball up.
And footy hasn't changed for a long time. You do that, the umpires will pay the rewards.
Clark will go back and have a shot. He's pretty much directly in front of the commentary position. He's going to kick, I would say, from about 50 metres out from the 50-metre line. He's got about a 45-degree angle grandstand side.
I reckon he's on his limit here. If he
You think so?
follows, yeah, I reckon if he follows through and keeps his toes straight, he might have a chance. But see if he slides.
And the whistle has gone, and
here.
that number 18.
50, but he's kicked it. He's kicked it.
Well, he's probably going to give the all clear he is. But what happened was Geordie Mackenzie came inside the 10 metres, and the umpire had backed out the 10. No one in front of me, and Mackenzie went in front. So he paid the 50, but you called it, Fred. You said it was right on his limit. He followed through beautifully.
Yeah, great play by St Mary's. And that's what you want to see by the St Mary's forward line. Matthias Liddy started that by attacking not only the ball but the player as well. And then it got by the other St Mary's players to get involved and, want to chase and tackle. So they got rewarded for it. Hard work.
Yeah, we just seen on the replay there that Tom Frawley, when he went without it, and the way that Raphael Clark put his body on the line, he earned that free kick. A good kick as well. So back in the middle, Smith goes without it. Paredes read it the best. Hand passes to Ben Rioli. Chain of hand passes ends up with Shawnee Edwards. And a free kick because Ben Rioli was belted after he kicked the ball by Sam Godden.
You find he got taken high in the course of it, so it's the free kick.
So it should.
No, it's a free kick.
Back.
It's going back to Shawnee
Edwards.
I'm not sure Ryan Ayres would not like discipline. Discipline is really important.
So he's asking his forwards to lead again. There's nothing much on offer, so Raphael Clark goes now, but again it's going to go to Smith. Can he get there? No, he doesn't, and he knocks Nate Paredes over the boundary line as well. So just a little bit of lack of communication there for the St Mary's players. So another boundary throw in, about 55 around from the St Mary's goal.
Gee, Ryan Smith, his attack, his gas must be huge. He's not only leading for the ball, but he's rucking as well.
Good tank.
Westerberg, Smith got his hand on it. It's all Tars though. Ducking under there was Anchors, couldn't get clean possession. Found free kick and it's going to get high, and I think Anchors will get the free kick. It's 1 goal, 6-12 St Mary's. 6 1/4 minutes gone here in the second term. Tars 1 goal, 2, 8 points. Ball is in the hands of Anchors, who plays on quickly, gives it off to his teammate Mosquito, who it's a kick and hope really to no one in the middle. It's picked up by Wilson. Handball over the top to Long, back to Wilson. Wilson's got time. Out wide he's got Ben Rioli in front of the commentary position. Lackadaisical handball didn't really come off. Loose on the ground, and then it's rushed out over the boundary line by Edwards.
Great play by number 4 Waratahs there. Did really play very lackadaisical by Ben, but great follow-up by Shawnee Edwards as well.
Zobel, that was.
Bailey Zobel creating the contest. Westerberg versus Smith. One out by Smith. Quick hands over the top to McConnell. Though from Tars, McConnell's kick is in no man's land, picked up by Jack Long. He's about half a metre inside the boundary line. He kicks back into the centre corridor. I'd be holding my breath if I was the St Mary's coach from that. But they get out of trouble here, and it comes out of defence. And Tyler Saunders has got a mile of territory available to him. He chips over to a teammate who slips a little bit.
Can they use their skill? Find the spare person, lead up.
They've managed to keep possession. Now they're in front of the scoreboard. 7.5 minutes gone here at Marara, second term. Contest comes in. Picked up by Bugler from Tars at the back.
Great reading by James Bugler, a lot of experience. He just left Raphael Clark and read the play well.
Godden ducked his head, called to play on. Loose out here. Shannon Rioli toes it off the ground. There's Zobel again. Quick hands underneath. Nice pick up by Simpson. Handball over the top. Here come Tars if they can get a clean possession. No, can't pick it up. Cantilla can't get a hold of it. Loose. Clark, Marius Clark, hurried handball away. Dodging around though is Anchors. Anchors has got time if he can sit down and steady, and he does, and he goes forward. But it drifts off to the right. Michael Long learning centre end, and it goes through for a point.
Abe should have done better there. His skill play of his skill ability. Their opportunities not going to come again.
So quick kick out here, looking for Paredes. Will use his body well. He does. Gets to the ball. Hand passes to Ben Rioli. Wasn't aware it was coming. Keeps the ball in. Clever play by Ben Rioli. Now he loses possession of it. Waratahs have it. Kick it into the 50. That's Carroll. Brody Carroll kicks it in. Fist in there as well. St Mary's are going to mop up here. Dangerous kick. Kicks it back to traffic, and a good mark taken by Samuel Flanagan.
Great mark.
The umpire says, just cut it out, boys. Go back and have your kick. So he's got a runner on. That's Godden. So he takes it about 55 metres out. Doesn't have the distance, just chipping it here. And a good lead there by Waratah's player in, I think that's Mackenzie, Jordan Mackenzie. So he's taken it about 40 out. Going to have to kick it about 45 metres, 45-degree angle. Kicking with the breeze, it's going across. So the breeze is at his back. So can they get their second goals, Waratahs? They're trailing here by 3 points. Nearly 9.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. It's round 12. Jordan Mackenzie comes in, looks confident. Let's see how his boot is. Good kick, and the breeze is going to take it through. That is a brilliant kick by Jordan Mackenzie. Kicks Waratah's second goal. Geez, that, if you want to do some goal kicking, I reckon I might go and ask Jordan Mackenzie if he can give me some tips, because that was a beautiful kick. The breeze was at his back. It was a tight angle, and he just put it up in the breeze and let it take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could see that Jordan was aiming for the left-hand side of the goalpost, and he just swerved back a little bit. It's a great kick by Jordan Mackenzie, and it gives Waratahs a bit of a breathing space and an opportunity to hang in there as well.
Well, the thing about Mackenzie then is he gave away a 50 that didn't actually need to be paid in the end, but he gave away a 50 at one end that resulted in a goal, and now he's made up for it. But the scoreboard, he's come from the grandstand side here, and we talked about that in terms of the breeze, and they brought it out this side, and the scores have both come in this quarter from this side of the ground as Godden from the middle, hurried kick over. Taken out and play on is the call. Flanagan scoops it up. He's got to beat Saunders, and he took him on, but he's gone for the hole in the ball, you would think. Yes, he is. Great tackle from Saunders.
I don't think he had any awareness that Saunders was actually there.
Well, I thought he might be. I think Flanagan thought he could bounce him off, but that didn't work out that well for him. Comes back inside. Saints looking to set it up there. He's been told to keep going out to the scoreboard side, but he's going to go up through the middle. No contest. Ray dances out of one, gives it off to Godden. Godden left foot kick, barely the 15. Now here they come. Waddell comes a long way out. He's right there, left half forward. Left foot looking for a target. Flanagan presents himself. So too does Mackenzie, but it goes over the back. Picked up by Frawley, gets tackled. Hurried handball away. Play on was the call. And now it's gone out of bounds, 5 metres around from the Waratahs goal. Left-hand side, Michael Long, Learning Centre end. 1 goal, 6, 12 points, St Mary's. They trail Waratahs, 2 goals, 3, 15. 11.5 minutes gone in this second term.
So boundary throw in, deep in the forward pocket here for Waratahs. The ruckman didn't read it. Delahunty gets there first. St Mary's here under pressure, trying to get the ball out. Thought the play was taken high. The umpire says play on. St Mary's get it to Paredes. Paredes just gets boot to ball. It's up and under, and Justin Bugler drops a mark. Kicks it back in, but had time. It's another up and under kick. They're all parked underneath it here, and it bounces. It missed them all. Handballs back to Waddell. Off the left foot. Does it stay in? And it just sneaks in. So Waratahs, no, it's a point. He said it shaped the post. Geez, that was a brilliant setup there by Waratahs, but unfortunately it's shaded the post on the inside, don't mind you. So Waratahs, another point. 2-4-16, leading St Mary's 1-6-12.
Gee, he's got a great left foot, Sam Waddell. Not only good, but it's long as well.
Shannon Rioli restarts, takes it outside the 50. That's got to be a 65-metre kick. Brought back in though, Tars trying to get possession. Delahunty has his handball chopped off, picked up. Here they come again, the red and whites. Now they're under pressure though. Saints not letting them get away with it easily. And he was legged in the process there. And that's Henry Karanul. Will go back and have a quick kick. He does. Plays on immediately to Anchors, who skirts through 2, gets to 50, looks for Waddell, who plays on from the mark inside the square and kicks it over the top of the Michael Long Learning Centre. And at the 13-minute mark, Tars extend their lead to 3 goals, 4-22. St Mary's 1 goal, 6-12, and that's Waddell's first goal for the game.
I think well deserved by Sam Waddell. He's just played really well, and his work ethic, he was involved in the last point scoring, and then his work ethic there was unbelievable.
Yeah, we're waiting for the replay. Abe Anchors, did you watch the way he carved
Here
up?
we go, yeah.
The way he carves up these two players, he just steps straight between
Puts
them.
the afterburners on as well. And look at the low penetrating kick. And Sam Waddell, just with those big hands, trusted hands, always takes the ball at the highest point as well, Sam Waddell. Brilliant reader of the ball, Sam Waddell. So back in the middle. Pyth throws it up. Delahunty got high there, and Nate Paredes has smashed. Going to earn the free kick there. Not happy with it was McConnell.
Let's see what St. Mary's can do now. The skill.
Oh, well,
I missed the mark.
Well done to Delahunty. Did well to trap that ball. Wilson picks it up. Can't break the tackle. Hand passes to no one. It's going to be a turnover here to Gooch.
Great play.
Yeah.
Looks for a teammate.
Good awareness.
Good kick. Still in the defensive 50 here, Waratah. He's going to cross it back. Dangerous kick. Edwards is coming. Well done, Shawnee Edwards. This deserves a goal. Come on, Shawnee Edwards. And he misses. He did all the good work. Danced inside one player. Got onto his left foot and missed from about 5 metres out.
It was just in two minds whether the hand pass or kick the goal, and I think that really didn't know what him to do.
I'm all for switching across the back when you are a defender.
Now, if you're going to kick it out, play onto yourself, you usually got to kick it to yourself.
Yeah, he hasn't done that, but they've managed to get out of trouble here. And young Carroll has come up with the mark under pressure from Ryan Smith at St. Mary's, right on the 50-metre mark, grandstand side. He really hasn't got a target, but he's going to go up looking for James Ray. At the back was Shannon Rioli. Sharking at the front, though, was Gardner. He gives it off to Waddell, who got taken late. Play on is the call. Can't quite get a hold of it. Godden bit up the contest, but Anchors had found himself some space and some time. Gives it off to Keranua. Keranua over the top. He's got Mosquito. Now it comes back in board. They're just passing it around. It must be on $1 a stat. Keranua comes in, left foot. Oh, Mosquito in the square, drops it though, unfortunately, and it looks like it'll go out of bounds. No one's actually blowing a whistle here.
Is he going to say he's marked it? No,
he's
the umpire's paid the mark.
That's why no one's done anything. The umpire has paid a mark. Do we get to see that on replay?
It would be... He went burning in there.
I wonder if he got interfered with after he's actually grabbed it. That would make sense. He's come right back directly in front. There's Timmy Mosquito. And the all clear. The Nichols medalist sets him up again, Waratahs, and they go to 4-4-28. They lead St. Mary's 1 goal, 7-13. 16 minutes gone here in the second term.
Henry Karanua and Timmy Mosquito playing really well. Henry Karanua held the ball up until the St. Mary's player came to him, then hand passed across to Timmy Mosquito, got the ball back, kicked in the forward lane. Timmy was there. So, good goal, Timmy Mosquito. He's played really well. He's tried really hard. You know, it's a 12-point turnaround. Shawnee Edwards missed a goal at one point, and then Waratah's got in the other. So you've got to make the most of your opportunities.
And Shawnee Edwards as well. As soon as that goal was kicked, he dropped his head and walked back to the wing here. So, as you said, a 12-point turnaround. Ryan Smith wins a tap down. Brilliant tap down as well to a teammate. Gets it moving forward. There's 1-on-2 here. Justin Bugler usually does well in this situation. Kicks it up to centre wing. 2-on-2. Big fist from Jack Long from the back. Gooch is trying to get hold of the ball here. Ben Rioli kicks it in. It's going to drop short. Who's read it best? McMurray, I reckon that is.
Great courage,
so
Ryan McMurray.
Taking the mark in front of Delahunty. About 40 metres out, slight angle. And again, he's going to kick with the breeze sort of coming across the ground here. So probably just on his distance, I reckon, as well. McMurray, Ryan McMurray. Good rugby player as well, I believe. Goes in. St. Mary's need this, and he's hung it up in the air. The breeze has taken it right away. Delahunty can't take the mark. They've handballed across the square here. It's dangerous, but they're going to get out of trouble here. Well done, Waratahs. Does it stay in? No. The ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throw, and about 55 around from St. Mary's goal, the far side, just in front of their clubhouse.
I thought Ryan Rusty's trick there. He could have taken a bit more time to calm himself, and he kicked it to the left. But Waratahs a really great defence there, backline.
Back in Westerberg. Front position, slung out of the way by Smith, called play on, let it go. Both ruckmen given plenty of latitude today by the umpires as it's run away by Brodie Carroll. He's going to kick to a contest though. One of them is Marius Clark, but the boundary line will beat both of those players and the ball will be thrown in. Just to the left of the scoreboard, looking directly at it. Waratahs 4-4-28. St Mary's 1-7-13. Nearly 18 and a half minutes gone in this second term. We're approaching time on. Smith, front position, wins out. Hurried handball. No one's really got possession of it. Now it's a hurried kick off the ground. Looks like Zobel. Jack Long gets a hand on it.
Henry Karanua.
Karanua chops it off though, then gives a hurried handball back, comes to Edwards, and a free kick's being paid. Too long to get rid of it, Tom Frawley. And go back and set themselves up. Well, there's only Sam Waddell in the square and Raf Clark. But it's shipped over the top to the running Flanagan. So he's got a second chance as Waddell. As Ankers presents himself out in that right-hand pocket, goes out of bounds though, falls at his feet. Not quite the pass he was looking for.
It seems to me the Waratahs are still running a bit more better than St Mary's at the moment, and their skill seems to be holding up in the same level.
Yeah, they are. So boundary throw in here, deep in the forward pocket here for Waratahs. Westenberg and Ryan Smith been a good duel all game so far. Waratah's trying to get this out here. Smith, he's taken the ball, hand passes back to a teammate. Waratahs have a shot on goal. McConnell. Waddell's there. Waddell can't get the ball. Comes down, hand passes over the top. Here we go. Kiranua, Henry Kiranua, does he get the goal? The umpire gives the all clear. Geez, that was pressure footy on the line there. Jack Long, unfortunately, just couldn't get there in time, but Waratahs have kicked their fifth, so they've kicked away here, kicked their fourth goal of this quarter. 20 minutes gone of the second quarter. Waratahs 5-4-34, St Mary's 1-7-13. St Mary's need a goal.
Yeah, great punch by Ben Rioli back into the play, but there were about 3 or 4 Waratahs players waiting for the crumbs.
Yeah,
great hand pass to Henry Karanua, and Henry Karanua that far out, it's not going to definitely miss. Waratahs, like I said, seem to be working a lot more harder and running to spaces, and seem to be reading the ball a lot more better than Saints at the moment.
They are certainly, are applying pressure, and they've applied it on the scoreboard, and they've opened up a gap. Knocked down. Godden dives on it. Knocked out clear. Shannon Rioli has got clear space. Hits the square, then bombs it into the goal square. Over the top. Ken Bailey. Zobel get a hand on it. He doesn't need to. It goes through for a point. And Tars will restart play. Well, they're the types of opportunities that you want goals from, don't they, Fred?
Absolutely. He could have hit someone, our target up front, but Shannon tried to hit a goal, but he just missed. But you got to keep trying to get those opportunities best way you can.
The goal square was clear, so yeah, you would have a crack at it, that's for sure.
Shawnee Edwards, good play.
So Shawnee Edwards just kicks it back in. It's taken by Simpson. In the defensive 50 for Waratahs, looks up, finds his mate and Godden, played
That's
well.
the type of foot pass that's undoing St Mary's, isn't it, Tash? I mean, that sort of pass from Tars.
A bullet pass.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't go above 2 metres off the ground and finds him on the chest. Kicks it across to Zobel. He's had a good second quarter as well to McConnell. McConnell quickly kicks it on into the 50 here, looking for his forward.
Great pickup.
Good pickup there taken by the Waratahs forward, then chips it across to Sam Waddell, who drops the mark, puts himself under pressure. Raphael Clark never gave up. Sam Waddell.
Raf Clark never gave up.
He looks like he's hurt himself as well. A bit slow to get up and back play, and it comes out to centre wing. St Mary's are fighting hard here. They can't let Waratahs get another goal. Picked up by Shannon Rioli. The captain's trying to put himself into the game. Hand passes over the top to Paredes. Paredes through centre wing.
Good kick.
Looks for Ben Rioli. Ben Rioli leads his player. He can pick this up and run into the open goals here. He does, and he kicks it, and he misses it. Ben Rioli probably had a little bit more time on him, but geez, they needed that goal. St Mary's kicked their 9th point of the game.
Gee, Ben Rioli, you would have put that down 9 times out of 10, so that's very rare for Ben Rioli to miss a goal straight in front.
Did all the hard work as well to get rid of his player. Quick kick out here by Waratahs, and again, they're going to get it out here. No, just held up. Well done to Anthony Wilson. Just holds up the Waratahs player.
Good pressure, young.
Yeah, good pressure by Musgrove. That's Mitch Musgrove, and the ball goes out of bounds about 55 from St Mary's goal.
You wonder how long St Mary's, with the frustration and whatever, the misses, will they count up, and how will the St Mary's players respond to those misses?
Well, the pressure's still on them. We're well and truly into time on. Nearly 23 minutes gone here. 5-4-34, 1-9-15. It's punched towards the St Mary's goal. Matthias Liddy can't pick it up. Out comes Ben Rioli, but a push in the back against Matthias Liddy will go to Abe Ankers. Ankers can relieve the pressure. He does so through Zobel. Bailey Zobel. He kicks it up to a contest. The flyer was Ryan Smith. Cleaned up, though, by Musgrove, who picks out Matthias Liddy, who now has a chance to make up for that turnover previously. And we'll go back, and he's on a bit steeper than 45-degree angle. I'm going to be looking straight over his shoulders here, Fred.
Yeah, great play by Jack Musgrove. Instead of just kicking to the full forward line,
he looked for an open play.
And he set his play. And that's what St. Mary's need more of. Waratahs are doing it more consistently.
Lowered his eyes.
Well, Liddy is a good kick at goal on his day. He's going to kick from about 48, and he does, and he sets it up beautifully as it drifts across, though. Hits the post. Well and truly up. But he hit that so high up, he's probably just given a little bit too much height, but he started out right.
Yeah. Third poster there. So Waratah's tried to play on quickly Justin Bugler, but the umpire said no. That was a little bit too quick.
You can see St. Mary's, they're playing pretty good. They're trying. The intensity's there and they're trying. It's not lack of trying. It's just the goal scoring.
So as the siren goes for half-time score, St. Mary's 1-10-16 trailing Waratahs 5-4-34.
She's flying down to Alice today.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts. Garden furniture!
Love you too.
She's off, but he's still got TIO. They cover you for territory weather, cyclone, storm surge, flood, hail, and they're local, so they can respond fast.
TIO? Storm staying, kids.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely. It has to be zero. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
kilonewton centrifugal force, entering remote control.
How does he do it?
24.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's high gear we get in, but also service details and safety checks. I don't know.
It's as if he can hypnotise each piece.
Give me 2 passes with sauce, coffee white with 1 bun with icing, no pink icing.
Yep, no worries, Terry.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm blue and far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here. Are you overrun with rubbish and need a skip bin? For easy disposal from your garden cleanup, renovation or spring clean? When you think skip bins, think NTRS. NTRS, your friendly, reliable and local waste disposal company.
players for Waratah so far has been Samuel Flanagan, Sammy Godden, Jordan McKenzie, Sam Waddell, A. Bakers. For Saints, Raphael Clark tried hard, Ben Rioli, Anthony Wilson and Sean Edwards, I think, in patches. But I think it's up to the leaders now of St. Mary's to whether they can stand up. I mean, the biggest thing for now is the second, third efforts. I mean, some players use their first effort and then that's it, they're stuffed. So you need a second, third efforts and then show leadership to that. So it'll be interesting to see what Brent said to St. Mary's and see how they come out. And it'll be interesting to see how Waratah's now, whether St. Mary's kick a couple of goals and how Waratah's retaliate as well. So it's a bit of ducks and drakes to see which team can get the upper hand. If Waratah's get the upper hand, I think it'll be interesting to see the younger players of St. Mary's, how they deal with it, and the leaders. If St. Mary's get a couple of goals, how will Waratah's retaliate when
you came up with one of the lines of the day so far, Fred, when you talked the St. Mary's players were standing around waving like they were calling for a taxi. Do you think that was probably what let them down in that second quarter? There was just no movement. There was no movement up forward, was there?
Absolutely, and you could see it. And the intensity's there. St. Mary's, their players are trying. They're doing really where they can. But what letting them down is not only the skill, but some of the players in the forward line are thinking, well, if I'm going to lead, I'm not going to get the ball. So then what you do is you go into a bit of an individualism, cocoon sort of mentality. But that's not what they need. They need a bit of a teamwork, and that's where your mind challenges you, and your team, your coach, really earns his pay there. I suppose has to really get that teamwork happening.
Well, they say that this is the premiership quarter, the third quarter, and I don't think there's any dangerous signs yet for Brett Renouf. I know they don't have the goals on the board, but I think his structures are working. But it's just the wayward kicking. So let's see how that they can go out and start this quarter. They've got the big guns in the midfield. There's Shannon Rioli, Ben Rioli, Nate Paredes, and Ryan Smith. So interesting engine room to start this quarter.
I really like the ruck contest between Westerberg and Ryan Smith. I think they've really done really well, both players. Ryan's done a couple of things, Westerberg's done a couple of things, and they've really worked together in tandem around the ground.
So we're just about to get the third quarter underway with Ashley Manakaris.
Smith wins it out, double-handed, can't quite get clear. Now he gets a handball away. Paredes can't pick it up. Gragged off the ball there, though, was Brodie Carroll. Soccering it on, though, is Shannon Rioli. It goes forward. Here comes Bugler. Rover runs it, couldn't quite get his hands on it. Wilson winning the foot race, then decides to soccer it off the ground, but it's chopped off by Bailey Zobel, who has actually been on the last line of defence a few times for Waratahs today.
Peer pressure, great. Anthony Wilson should have picked that up, but he felt the peer pressure from Waratahs. Should have been a certain goal for Saints.
And Zobel now presents himself from kicked back in by Timmy Mosquito. And he's on that right, Michael Long end, right pocket. Kicks up the line. Smith versus Westerberg, punched away by Westerberg. Handball over the top from Anchors onto the running teammate, which was Carroll. Carroll's kick is up to look Godden under pressure in front of the scoreboard. So a minute gone, stoppage already. 5 goals, 4-34 if you've just joined us. St. Mary's 1 goal, 11-17. That's right. They've had 12 scoring shots to 9. Managed to kick 11 points. St. Mary's, the green point scoring machine at the moment. Tash?
Yeah, there is, and again, both ruckmen miss it, so this is the advantage to Waratahs. Kicks it into the 50. Sam Godden couldn't take the mark, but he's earned the free kick, so Jack Long just infringed there. Just got him a little bit high, I think.
Great. We see a replay. I think he got taken high.
Yeah, great play by Westerberg to tap the ball over to Anchors, and Anchors, great skill just to kick it out in front of Waddell, and good hands out in front by Waddell.
So Waddell's already got a goal on the board, kicked it in the second quarter, so he's kicking from about 45. Kicking with the breeze that's turned now, so he's actually kicking with a breeze there. It's swirly. So just on his distance here, Sam Waddell, 45-degree angle. The lights are on here at Marara. So he's kicked it into the breeze. That's a beautiful kick as well. Sam Waddell gets the first for Waratahs. Not what St. Mary's needed, but he's got his second of the game, Sam Waddell.
Oh, great play. I think he's really risen to the level now, and I love his forward patterns around forward line, full forward and centre half board. He really led hard for the ball there, and he just seems to really be a natural forward line player. And when you've got players kicking the ball to you like Abe Akers, you're going to eat it up every day of the week. But great finish as well. His kicking is so technically fantastic, and how he kicks through the ball is really amazing as well.
Well, you see in the replay there, he got taken high then. just in that contest.
So now it's up to the challenge to St Mary's and whether the leaders and the whole team can rise up.
Well, they're going to have to lift here. Westerberg, they both miss it. It hits the ground, punched on by Paredes. Shannon Rioli gets it, left foot on the ground, can't get it. Delahunty picks it up cleanly, then swings around onto his right, trying to drag it back around, but Bugler's there with one hand, guides it through for a point.
How many times has he been there?
Yeah, but he's another one.
He's a stalwart. But Delahunty
picks out Zobel.
Delahunty's had time to just look around and kick at someone as well.
Bailey Zobel has been in everything as a defender. Has to chip up the line looking for James Ray. Now it's picked up, kicked on. Here goes Tars, centre wing though. Grandstand side, Yaron, quick hands, ducks out of one, but it's Godden, almost depanted, loses the ball, brought back inside. Ben Rioli has the ball on the ground and he's been pinged. Well, he went to ground with it, didn't really make an attempt, and the tackle has been rewarded. They send it forward. Waddell presents himself, punched away by Long. Yaron has had to go back, slides over, then gets back up again over to Raf Clark. Quick hands into brother Marius. Marius, right foot kick. Wilson can't really get there. Delahunty comes down, can't grab it. It bounced on the ground, bounced off his hands, and bounced out of bounds.
Saints had a really good opportunity. If Delahunty would have grabbed that mark, they were on.
Just not sticking for him today, Delahunty. Getting there. Boundary throw in. Westenberg wins the tap down. Got the numbers here. McConnell picks it up. Hand passes to a teammate. Just shoves off his player. It was Flanagan. Then kicks it out of bounds on the full. So good work, Nicky Yaron. He's put himself into this third quarter as well. Nick Yaron plays well above his size. Gets belted every week. Gets it back up. So Nick Yaron.
It's like an Indian rubber man.
Yeah, he's a very good player as well. When he's firing, St Mary's are firing.
Everyone's standing still.
So Delahunty misses him, goes to the back. Westenberg goes without it. Wilson tries to impact the contest here. Comes out the back to Paredes. Paredes just drives it in. Justin Bugler again is the wall of defence back there for Waratahs. Shawnee Edwards picks it up. His kick is smothered. Ryan Smith's trying to get there, the big ruckman. He just can't get his body behind the ball. And again, Zobel just takes it out of bounds. The umpire says throw it in.
Great plays by Waratah's backman. Just faked the hand pass and went out of bounds. They're holding up really well in his first couple of minutes, Waratah's backline, and the midfield are helping out as well.
And a free kick's been paid there. Wilson responding to Bailey Zobel, and so Zobel drawing the free kick. So they have a chance to come out, although it's not good. It's going to be Godden one-on-one. Sam Godden can't pick it up, keeping the pressure on though, still loose in there, reaching in, now it's come out. Handball to nobody. Pushed off it though quite easily though by the St Mary's player and Benjamin Taylor, and the ball's gone out of bounds.
Let's see if this St Mary's can now keep it in the forward line and get something to score about it.
He's not happy, Anthony Wilson. They're getting right into him as well. Boundary throw in. Smith punches it forward. The umpire's found a free kick. I reckon it's going to Ryan Smith.
Yeah, he got taken high.
So the 150 gamer, life member now for St Mary's and the AFL NT. Well done to Ryan Smith. I remember him playing juniors with my brother Brenton back in the Magpie days. Then he crossed over to St Mary's. I wished he would have stayed at Magpies. So ball comes in and the mark's taken by Matthew Jeffrey for St Mary's. 40 metres out.
Wasn't the greatest looking kick.
No, it wasn't.
It was a tired ruckman's kick, all right, Ryan Smith. He's doing the job out there today, Ryan Smith, showing all his experience. They need this St Mary's.
Now he's got to take his time and just follow through.
Kicking into a slight breeze. It's just going to hold up into that breeze. Wilson's there. It lands in the square. St Mary's here trying to get hands to the ball. Waratah's defenders are doing well. The ball comes out to Shawnee Edwards and a banana kick on the inside out of his boot. He kicks the much-needed goal for St Mary's. They finally have their second goal of the game after kicking one in the second quarter, nothing in the first quarter. So St Mary's 2-12-24, still trailing Waratah 6-4-40. As we just watch on the replay here, ball comes out, kicked off the ground by Waratahs, but just good work here by St Mary's, and the ball inside out kicked by Shawnee Edwards and a much needed goal.
Yeah, great hand pass off the ground by young Jeffrey to Shawnee Edwards. Shawnee Edwards has really tried. He's come in the game through spits and spurts, and great finish by him. So now let's just see if that spurs St Mary's to kick another goal, 2 in a row.
Well, they would need, I think they really need a second goal here to keep them going. Delahunty Delahunty drops over the top, but it comes down to Godden from Tars, who puts it on the boot. Clark set himself. Had it punched away from him, though. Went to ground. And the ball is going to be balled up. Yaron was the one holding up Abe Anchors there. So they're kicking towards the airport end, Waratahs, to the right.
Great play, great tap.
Tapped over. In there again was McKenzie.
Great body work, Jack Long.
Yep, Jack Long just gave him a bit of a nudge, but the ball went out of bounds and will be thrown in.
Unlucky there, Jack Long did all the work.
Yeah, he set himself up there. McKenzie was actually first to it, but Jack Long probably showing a little bit of his Thunder experience there. Set back up, Westerberg. Loose on the ground. Now it's cleaned up. Dances around one. Now they have a bounce, St. Mary's. Over the top to Wilson.
Now they've got a chance. Can Wilson get onto it?
Well, Wilson versus Simpson. Can't quite get it the first time. He's had 2 goes at it. Now he bounces off 2. Then balks. Now he's got a bit of trouble, but he can get out of it. Right foot up the line, looking for his teammate, but the boundary line's going to beat him. Go out of bounds. About 60 metres around left-hand side, grandstand side here at Marara.
Great play, St. Mary's. Great play, Anthony Wilson. They talked about 3 players, but geez, kick just let him down.
So the boundary umpire just bringing the ball here. Back to throw it in as the ruckman come. Delahunty's there. Bugle is going to go into the ruck. So Delahunty wins the tap down. More experience there in the rucking. This needs to stay in. Oh, lucky he had a teammate there. There's only one way he was heading, and that was the boundary. So ball in, centre wing here, grandstand side. As we see on camera, the crowd that's here. St. Mary's boys watching on. Boundary throw in. So Waddell against Delahunty. Comes down to Godden. Godden's got time and space, just looks up, looking for a forward. Hand in there by the St. Mary's defender. If the ball gets at the back here. Nicky Yaron's onto him, the hand pass back. Well done, the 1-2 to Anchors. It's going to go over the top, Jack Long. Should get there first if it stays in, and no, it goes out of bounds again in front of him. So deep in the forward pocket here for Waratahs. So attacking zone here. St. Mary's need to stop this on charge from Waratahs.
Yeah, great play by Jack Long to use his body to stop the Waratahs player from getting the ball.
10 minutes gone here in the third term. 6-4-40 plays 2-12. Saints with the work to do. Ball's loose on the ground. In Tars forward half, forward 50. Flanagan with quick hands out. It's going to go all the way back to Godden. Not far enough. Play on is the call. Under pressure from Ben Rioli. He wins out. Stands, turns and goes forward. He's got time.
Good kick.
And then picks out McMurray. Ryan McMurray plays on quickly. He's got it over the top to Ben Rioli again. 2 bounces straight up into his hands. He sends it up forward. Matthias Liddy sets himself.
He needed to go there, Matthias Liddy.
Yeah, he did, and he just balked at that last minute, and it was Bugler. Read it beautifully. He puts it across the field to his teammate Jordan Gardner. Gardner has got a runner outside, and it's Bailey Zobel again. He's worked his way into one of their best today, Bailey Zobel. He kicks it up the line to a teammate. Kim Cantilla. And just drifting down was Jordan Gardner from Tars. Under pressure though, late on the scene was Raf Clark. He goes over the top again. Cantilla, bit of a kick too, dropped though, under pressure. Flanagan was diving on it. Over the top went Paredes, and a free kick for contact below the knees will be paid. So this is one of the things about that rule. The ball player may well be Flanagan, but the player going over the top's the one that gets protected.
And Paredes probably should have caught that ball back on the full there, because Raphael Clark was by himself. Now he's called to play on a terrible kick. It's going to go straight out of bounds. They can't pin him for that. It was just a terrible kick.
Yeah, great, not very good kick by Paredes. But then again, I think Nathan was looking around for someone to come lead up to, and I think a lot of the St. Mary's players were stagnant and just standing there.
What do you think? I'm not convinced Paredes has injected himself enough into this game at this point. Any thoughts?
No, definitely not. Not the calibre that we're used to seeing him play, especially when it needs to stand up like now. So Waratahs are moving the ball forward here. The intensity's picked up again from both teams. So St. Mary's are trying to break the lines here of Waratahs. It's just not working for them again. They're slow to get the ball going. There's no movement. Saunders now moves for him. Kicks it up the line to Delahunty. Sam Waddell's going to get there, and a good mark by Delahunty. Maybe that will boost his confidence. He plays on, gets to Shannon Rioli. He drops the hand pass, kicks it across, looking for the switch. Darius Clark there, but it drops short. So Gardner's there for Waratahs. Jordan Gardner. Clark's hot on his hammer. Kicks it off the ground, looking for Mincook. Haven't really called him today. Mincook, but good for them last time they played. He gets to the ball now. Just lowers the eyes and kicks it to a teammate and his captain. That's Bugler. So on centre wing here, the far side, Waratahs.
Oh, good kick.
Just keeping possession of the ball. Flanagan again tries to take on the tackler. It's a couple of times now and it hasn't paid off. Under pressure here, but they get the ball back. McConnell, he tries to get boot to ball. He can't. It's picked up here by Cantilla. Cantilla hand passes to himself. Can't regather. Smith puts his body in the line. Smith's the big ruckman there. Picks it up. He's there trying to get rid of it. The umpire says he threw it. So the big ruckman did his best there to try and get that ball out, and he threw the ball, and the free kick's going to go to Waratahs in James Ray. 30 metres out on a slight angle, kicking with the breeze.
Oh, poor Ryan Smithy. I think he tried to put his body down and get the ball there, but he just got caught.
He had one hand retarded. That was the problem for him. And if we get to see the replay, you'll see that it just sort of bobbled up as James Ray comes in with a chance to kick his second.
And he has missed.
Let off for St Mary's there. Very big let off.
He's another one that looked like he stabbed at it just then. 6 goals, 5:41. 14 minutes gone. Plays 2 goals, 12 St Mary's, 24. They trail. They restart play and they go back out wide. Scoreboard side. Raph Clark goes for a bit of a canter, then puts it straight on the boot. Finds his brother Marius, centre wing, in front of the scoreboard. He doesn't really have a lot of... Matthias Liddy's in the middle, but he ignores him and decides to go along the line. Delahunty sliding and diving has actually taken a great mark. He's now set it up. They scrag each other in the full forward. Paredes can't quite get his hands on it. Loose on the ground. The boundary line, though, will be the saviour for Waratahs, and it'll be thrown in about 10 metres around from the St Mary's goal. Good field position. Gee, they need this third goal.
Boundary throw in. Smith gets down there, but Waddell wins the tap, just smashes it to the back. Anchors is there. They got a paddock in front of him here, the Waratahs guys. That's Henry Kiranua. Picks it up, has a bounce. Just looking for the players to come. Hand passes to Timmy Mosquito running by. Kicks it from 60. Looking for a teammate in Westenberg, and the big ruckman's taken the mark, 15 metres out. Should go back and nail this. Westenberg had a great game against Ryan Smith in the ruck. He's resting up in the forward line now. Gives him a big target up there, and Zach Westerberg will go back and have a shot at goal to kick Waratahs 7th.
Great play by Abe Akers there. He picked out the spare Waratahs player on the wing there, and then Henry Karanua, then he hand passed it to Mosquito, and they've just really handle the pressure and the skill level better.
As he goes in and he's kicked it straight across the face, so the ruckman
you jinxed him.
Has kicked a point.
You jinxed him, Tash.
Yeah, that's the commentator's curse, isn't it? So another point to Waratahs, 6-6-42, playing St Mary's 2-12-24, 16 minutes gone in this third quarter.
I like to see St Mary's players just run around. There doesn't seem to be any motivation, or they're just standing still, and they're just kicking up in the air.
And Jack Long is a great example. He's just bombed that up looking for Ryan Smith. It comes off his hand. Marius Clark robes it, then gives it off to a teammate. Bounces in front of Musgrove, dragged off it. Clean hands, picked up, anchors, then runs out of bounds with it in front of the Waratahs dugout. The ball will be thrown in centre wing, almost true centre wing position. 16.5 minutes gone here in the third term. 6 goals, 6-42. Tars leads St Mary's 2 goals, 12-24. Just waiting on the ball to come back.
As the sun's finally sort of gone, the clouds coming across now, so it's probably dropped about 4 to 5 degrees out there for the players.
Yeah, now it's only 35. And the lights have come on here at Marara as well. Westerberg, Smith. Good, great tap out, but it's cleaned up by Paredes from St Mary's, injecting himself into the game. He sends it long and finds Sean Edwards. Great kick from Paredes.
Great body work by Shawnee Edwards as well.
It was too, and he judged it beautifully.
Experience, he showed his experience there.
So you would think on his day, he should be able to kick this. He's going to kick from 50, maybe 51 metres out, 45-degree angle, grandstand side.
Slight breeze he's kicking into. It's turned a bit.
It's turned a little bit, but you would think if he aims for that left-hand goal post, and he's a right footer, can it come back? It's sprayed across the front. So he hasn't even made it the distance and gone out of bounds. It's gone out of bounds to the right of the point post, only by about 1.5 metres or so, and it'll be thrown in there.
Probably the best thing for St Mary's that if didn't score, at least it provides them with another opportunity.
They need to lock it in. Yep, they need to lock it in here.
Yep.
So Delahunty against Bugler, against Westerberg, sorry. Quick snap by Edwards. He's done that a couple of times from stoppages, Edwards. It goes out of bounds again. It's another throw in.
Looks like they put Shawnee Edwards at full forward, which I think is a really good move because he's very mobile and is good mark. So hopefully that.
And he's going to contest, isn't he?
Yep,
he's going to contest.
He'll give it everything. So again, the ruckmen go at it. Delahunty misses it. Coming through with it is Zobel. Geez, what a game he has had for Waratahs. Big Ryan Smith's trying to get to the bounce of this ball. Doesn't work in his favour. Waratahs have the numbers. Smith goes back. Look at this effort by the big ruckman. He's still going. Poor Jimmy's going to try and pick it up. He's met front on. And that was a high hit. That'll almost be a report.
That's almost going to be a report.
James Ray.
In fact, he's reaching for his book.
That's front on. Got him in the head as well. So James Ray is reported as we watch on the replay here. Poor Jimmy just stopped and he's got an elbow straight to his face there. So James Ray, I reckon that's a couple of weeks.
Well, we'll see what happens. The match review, well, there's definitely a report. The match review will look at it. But...
it doesn't look good.
No.
Doesn't look good.
No, video evidence won't help him. That's for sure.
James, poor Jimmy, just they're asking if he's all right here. The umpire's taking the numbers.
See if he's okay. I mean, if Stick
he can't.
play.
Yeah.
No, he's got to wait for the umpire to blow time.
No, but I will say good work by Jamison Galbraith then. Because not only did he get in there, but he made sure that he had a presence. So there was no other remonstrations as Jack Long now played on, brought right across the face of the goal. McMurray leads the race to the ball from Waddell. It's bouncing slowly. He gets grabbed. Play on is the call. In fact, he got held without it. Another good free kick. It'll go to St Mary's. Scoreboard as we approach time on. 6 goals, 6, Waratahs 42. They lead St Mary's 2 goals, 12, 24. James Ray, who's been one of their better players today, has just been reported. Saints bring it back again inside the 50. And Jack Long finds Jack Musgrove, and he then brings it wide, and he's got a teammate in, is that Braith Hodges?
It is Hodges.
Good kick.
Hodges goes forward.
Oh, good play.
But it's chopped off by Tars, and they'll have a quick turnover as Karanua goes back in board, looking for his teammate and finds him. And that's Waddell.
Great play, Henry Karanua sized up the option and just saw Waddell by himself in the forward line keyway. So Waddell now has an opportunity to kick another goal.
As we see James Ray come off, and young Braith Hodges, we know he's the son of the Thunder, ex-Thunder coach now. He's now the director, I think, at Thunder, and also the nephew of 2 times Nichols medalist Jason Jones. So Waddell goes in, it looks good. Does he sneak it in? No. So Waddell had a few opportunities, already kicked 2 goals, one in the second, one in this third quarter. Waratahs 6-7-43, St Mary's 2-12-24, 21 minutes gone. Jack Long kick out duties. Just another up and under, I reckon, looking for Ryan Smith. Geez, he's worked hard today. Just gets rid of his opponent.
Yeah, and he's going to get a free kick or no? No, he's not. Bailey Zobel could probably feel a little bit hard done by there, but anyway.
It's like a bit of a UFC toss out the way. Called to play on Smith, and again it's an up and under kick. McMurray's going to get there. Well done, McMurray. Ryan McMurray. He worked about 50 metres flat out on a sprint to get to that ball, but still, again, nothing on.
Great lead up, Anthony.
Anthony Wilson takes it just on centre wing here. St Mary's grandstand side looks for Matthias Liddy. It's going to drop short. Gets to the contest. Matthias picks it up with one hand. He's got time, has a bounce. From 35, has a shot at goals, and he's missed. Had all the time. Ben Rioli was shepherding for him, and he's missed. A dead set, another opportunity gone to waste for St Mary's.
Matthias should have made the best of it. That could have been lifted the team up, but now it may deflate them. So see if St Mary's can kick the ball inside their 50.
Is it confidence? Has their confidence deserted them in front of goal? You'd have to think so when you're looking at 2 goals 13, three quarters into a game. Geordie McKenzie sends it up the line looking for Westerberg. He takes front position, punched away though in a contest against Edwards, cleaned up by Anchors. Quick hands now to his teammate, and that was Geordie Gardner gives it over the top. Karanua can run onto it, has a quick bounce, then tries to outrun Yaron. Big mistake, and he gets pinged for holding the ball. He had more than ample prior opportunity.
Good chase as well by
And
Nick
now
Yaron.
advantage is played, so Paredes has got space on his side in front of that scoreboard. Kicks over the top looking for Liddy. Mosquito and Liddy. Mosquito circles back around.
Good play, Timmy Mosquito. Good punch.
And guides it out of bounds, so the ball will be thrown in 51 metres around from the St Mary's goal.
What's left of St Mary's down is that last kick into the forward 50 has just really left them down.
And that was
all
an
day.
example there, wasn't it? Where it wasn't a great kick in. Thrown in.
Umpire throws it up. Raphael Clark goes without it. Comes down to Shannon Rioli. Dances around one. Gets a hand pass to Shawnee Edwards. Again on the outside of the boot. Has he kicked his second? He has, Shawnee Edwards. Don't worry about doing the normal drop punt. Shawnee Edwards, the check side, has his second goal and a much needed goal for St Mary's. So they've got their third. But geez, a good setup there. They really needed that goal. Just worked hard for it as well, St Mary's. Good work to get the ball in there. But Shawnee Edwards, a dance around here, gets it out, and the banana kick, if you don't mind, check side from 45 metres,
There's an element of irony, isn't it? They kick the hard ones, miss the easy ones.
Yeah, absolutely. But at least they're in with a chance, and you never know. You never say never in a game of football. So well done, Shawnee, and his work ethic. So I think since he's moved to full forward, he's really tried and provided a target, and he's really set up a couple of opportunities.
Can they get another one before this three-quarter time siren?
Well, 24 minutes gone. We're back to a 12-point ball game. Anything can happen in football as Flanagan runs away with it from Tars, sets it up looking for Waddell. He gets held. Play on is the call. Bounced away. Tyler Saunders from Saints picks it up, then sends it up, but it gets chopped off and intercepted. And will come back in courtesy of Simpson. Looking for Waddell again. He gets hassled, and in fact he got pushed out according to the umpire, and a free kick will be given to him on a very difficult angle. I don't know that he can, I'm going to say that I don't think he can kick this because he missed one further around much closer.
It also came from another St Mary's turnover as well, and the last thing you want to do is give the ball up to someone like Abe Akers.
Yeah, you kind of getting back to 12 points, you really don't want that margin to go back out again as he kicks across the face of the goal. Ryan Smith is right there, the St Mary's ruckman, to mark it. He's only about 2 metres around from the Tars goal. He's really, again, he doesn't have a lot up forward, so he's just going to have to kick long and hope Delahunty presents himself. It's punched away from him though. Tackled without the ball. Play on is the call. It's picked up. And the siren sounds to mark three-quarter time here at Marara, with Waratahs leading 6 goals, 7-43. St Mary's 3 goals, 13-31.
She's flying down to Alice today.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts. Garden furniture!
Love you too.
She's off, but he's still got TIO. They cover you for territory weather, cyclone, storm surge, flood, hail, and they're local, so they can respond fast.
TIO? Storm staying, kids.
So we can feel brilliant.
Another life saved with the Chemist Warehouse app. Take control of your health and wellness. Download now.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students. We have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona?
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Intersport, new concept store now opening Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence. No more! Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
Leads and leads hard straight up the ground, and the ball is presented to him. Very few defenders will stop him.
No,
they will not
once
beat
he gets
him.
once he gets that charge up.
I think also what the great thing interesting about the centre line as well, whichever Ruckman has got on top in the middle, the midfield of that team has really walked at the ball outside the centre square as well. So there's a couple of times Ben Rioli, Nathan Paredes in that quarter, and Waratah's Ray Bakers and a few other players as well have got the ball out. So it'll be interesting to see if they really clamp up in each other's centre line or really leave each other open. So it'll come back to the team that wants it the most, that's going to work with and without the ball and really do the 1%ers and make the most of their opportunities. So it's who really wants to win, because there's a lot of stake at Waratahs, as you said at the beginning of the game, with their ladder position, but also a lot of stake for St. Mary's. If they drop this, they could go down to a low level and it'll be very, very hard for them to come up into the finals equation.
They've effectively got to keep winning from here to make sure. So they've really got ahead of them. It's going to be an interesting battle in that midfield, and we saw a little bit towards the end there, Nathan Paredes start to inject himself into the game, which is a positive, and we need to see players of his ilk, I think, step up a few more times, as well as Shannon Rioli step up in that midfield.
The experienced ones,
yeah, they're really getting good usage, courtesy of Ryan Smith, but you know, players like Abe Ankers and Sammy Godden in the middle there, they're just up to it. And so it's going to be a real good battle moving forward with a quarter to go.
And I think it'll come back to the leaders, as we said, of both teams. So the leaders and who stands up and who does their second, third efforts, or who stands back and say, well, I'll wait for the easy ball. I won't go hard at the ball. I won't chase tackle as much. So can St. Mary's come back into this last quarter? It'll be interesting to see how they set up. It'll be interesting to see if Shaun Edwards goes back to full forward. And because I think St. Mary's and Waratahs, their backline all day has been fantastic.
Looks like Tyler Saunders is as well. So Saunders, Matthias Liddy, Shawnee Edwards and Anthony Wilson are heading down there, along with Delahunty and Ben Taylor. So interesting setup there.
Maybe they want a bit of a speed and run from Benny Taylor and crash the pack as well, and a bit of high marking from Karen Delahunty.
And Delahunty started to take a few grabs as well, which was really good. So
his work rate around the ground is actually quite high. Just quickly, the goal scorers going into this fourth quarter.
All right, we're just about to get the last quarter underway here. So 12 points in front, Waratahs, Ashley Manakaris.
Westerberg and Smith, as it has been all day. Smith's given it off to Ben Rioli, who soccers it on the ground. Leading the race there, Wilson, though, can't pick it up. Some Saints taps it on, 2 taps. Will he go a third? He does, and it goes out of bounds. Will be thrown in 60 metres around from the St Mary's goal. 2 goals to Sam Waddell for Tars, then singles to Henry Keranua, Geordie McKenzie, James Ray and Timmy Mosquito, and then the 2 goals to Sean Edwards as the ball's thrown in. Smith punches it forward, then it's poor socket off the ground by Bailey Zobel into no man's, picked up by Marius Clark, gives a handball over to his brother. They've been pairing up well today. Raphael Clark doesn't worry about picking it up, goes out of bounds, will be thrown in.
It'd be interesting to see how both teams set up from the boundary throw. And Westerberg and Smith, who wins a tap, I think they're just going to tap it forward, and the teams are just going to run with it.
Boundary throw in, here we go. The jewel of the game, I think, is Smith Westerberg. Handballs out, chain of hand passes comes out to McKenzie. That's Jordan McKenzie, doesn't have the headgear on now. Comes to Ray, reported in that third quarter. Gets boot to ball, kicks it into the 50 here for Waratahs, and it goes out of bounds on the 50. So another boundary throw and a few stoppages to start this game. Sam Godden there has gone full forward for Waratahs. He's on Frawley. Good strong bodies, those two. Good matchup. They have another throw in. The boundary umpires have definitely had their work cut out from today. Smith again wins the front tap, and there's no St Mary's player there. He belts it 10 metres forward, picked up by Stevens. Stevens drives it in. Well done. It's a bit of Irish footy there by Raphael Clark. Drives it down, looking for Delahunty. Goes back to the pack. Justin Bill goes without it. Matthias Liddy, this is where it needs to count. Matthias lowers his eyes and finds Delahunty, can't take the mark, drops it. Anthony Wilson's dangerous around this stoppage. Hits it out to Shawnee Edwards. Shawnee Edwards just takes it over the line. It was a good crack at the goals as well. So the boundary umpire said it's gone over. It did. Yep. So a boundary throw in about 25 metres around from St Mary's goal, grandstand side. St Mary's, if they get this goal, it is totally game on. They have the momentum.
They have, and a boundary umpire was in a great position there. Ruckman set themselves up very deep again. Westerberg over the top, goes back in the middle corridor. Coming through was Matthias Liddy, couldn't pick it up. McKenzie versus Marius Clark. Zobel soccers it off the ground, and free kicks in danger has been paid. Zobel puts both hands to his head in despair.
It's a line ball, I reckon, but it 50-50, I guess.
Well, we'll see. We'll have a look on the replay and see what it is. Ben Rioli's ended up on the ground there for some reason.
Matthias Liddy is in distance. He's a big kick.
Yeah, he's a beautiful kick at the footy.
So he'll back himself here, you would think. He's going to kick, I would suggest, from about 49 out. But no angle to speak of, pretty much directly in front. If ever there was a goal they needed at the 3-minute mark of the fourth term, this is it. From the 50-metre line, he sets it up high and long, and it just drifts off to the left. He put a little bit too much effort into it.
I think that was a kick of a tired player.
You think so? I just thought he probably tried to kick it too hard.
It didn't play the breeze that was going across.
Anyway.
So Mosquito with the kick out here. Called to play on, puts himself under pressure. Finds a teammate, and Gooch, geez, he's played well as well. No, that's McKenzie, I think it is, Jordan McKenzie.
Yeah. Great kick, Timmy Mosquito.
Yeah.
So a good 50-metre kick.
50-metre foot pass.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Then Mencook goes without it, comes to the back to Carroll. Poor Jimmy's there as well, caught one in the third quarter. Hand passes to no one. Number of players around this ball. Who can bring it out? Waratahs. Mencook gets a hand pass out to Carroll. Carroll goes without it. Thias Clark's there. Ball's coming out now to Waratahs. Waratahs with a link of hand passes. Lowers the eyes, finds Cantilla. That's Kim Cantilla. Kim Cantilla tries to find Henry Kiranua. He's got a bit of space here in time. Goes on the inside, then lowers his eyes and finds his mate that doesn't take the footy. Doesn't take the mark. Hand passes back to Kiranur. That was Kim Cantilla that dropped the mark. Kiranur again tries to dance around Jack Long, which you don't. The umpire says playing advantage, and they missed the goal.
Whoa.
They can't bring it back. Geez, I thought that was unlucky to Jack Long.
No, he's paid a high tackle, so I'd be interested if we get a chance to see a replay, but the umpire was in a pretty good position there.
Gee, Waratah stuffed that up.
They did, and you know, just before, Cantilla had Sam Waddell over in the square all on his own. As the kick out comes in, as a big, strong mark from Delahunty, who has been holding him from the third and the fourth. Here they go. Have they got the time? The ball game is back to 12 points. Fourth quarter. Tars lead. They've managed to edge themselves in front for most of the day. Saints looking to claw it back in. Out to the young player in Hodges. Hodges looking for a teammate. Goes over the top nose Mosquito and holds it up.
Mr. Reliable.
I judged that beautifully, he tells the crowd. He goes up to the scoreboard. Finds Simpson. Back in board, Godden. Here he goes. Godden has time and space in front of him. He's being urged to run and kick, and he does. He looks for Waddell. It's chopped off by Frawley. Double-fisted, punched away. Boundary line will be his friend.
Gee, great play by
And
Tommy
20
Frawley.
metres around from the Waratah's goal. As we approach the 6-minute mark, Tars 6 goals, 8:44. St Mary's 3 goals, 14:32. Tars kicking to the Michael Long Learning Centre end.
The ruckman's set up. Ryan Smith's coming from the back here. He just charges at the footy, banging his way through, crashing his way through. Saunders comes away with it for St Mary's, kicks it out to Ben Rioli. The bounce misses him. The ball's going to go out of bounds. That's a good sign for St Mary's out there. They cleared it. It was in the danger area, but just couldn't hit their target with Ben Rioli. So there's going to be a boundary thrown around about 70 metres from Waratah's goal.
Tash, just quickly. Last round before Christmas, Tars versus Palmerston. Similar stage of the game. Palmerston ran over the top of them. Saints, can they do that?
Yeah, they can. They're playing some good footy at the moment, and they're really gelling together as they're... Ben Rioli kicks it down, and Delahunty...
He's getting on top.
He's stepped up in this last quarter. Anthony Wilson tries to chop it off. Well done by Waratah. It's a good front-on hit there. The umpire says, no, that's high. And he didn't hand back the ball, so that's 50. Delahunty, geez, I mean, it's unlucky, but you know the rules.
Here we go, here we go, here we
given.
go. Yeah, he's hit him high with the elbow.
It's just risen just slightly, but Delahunty didn't return the ball back on the full.
That's what the 50's for.
So that's the 50, and it's a good 50 as well. The umpire's still marching. Geez, I'd buy real estate off him any day.
Especially in Darwin at this day.
So, Abe, I think it's no. Gooch has a teammate running past. That's Bugler. Usually a good kick and delivers it on the chest to Sam Godden. Sam Godden takes the mark near the boundary line. So it's a tight angle here. Very hard to kick goals from this area. About 45 metres out. He looks pretty confident as well. He's got a big kick on him, Sam Godden. Waratahs just need this to settle. Goes in, drives it. It looks good, and he's nailed the ball through the goals. Well done, Sam Godden. That is a brilliant kick from the young man.
That is goal of the day for me. I mean, what a kick, especially at the time it is now, the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You need a leader to stand up.
I was going to say, that's a leadership goal, isn't it?
Absolutely, and Sam Godden did that. Left foot, suited his left foot, but to really take his time, sum it up and kick a goal, but gee, it really helped Waratahs there.
Good play here, and they got it out to Justin Bugler, and then he drives it in onto the chest of Sam Godden, who had Ben Rioli hot on his hammer. So a contested mark that was, but a brilliant shot at goal in these conditions.
And a leadership goal, as Fred said. 8.5 minutes gone. The margin's gone out to 18 points. Waratahs 7 goals, 8:50 to St Mary's 3 goals, 14. Delahunty goes into the middle. Waddell in there as well for Waratahs. Off the ground, and he soccers it, does Waddell. James Ray balked, then puts it on the boot. Who's up forward, up front? Westerberg can't get his hands on it. Taken high was Jack Long, and he'll get a free kick. Now there's a bit of a scuffle going on there. as they get in there to try and sort stuff out, but there's nothing to sort out. The free kick's been paid.
It was getting a little bit hot under the ammo. I think it was Raphael Clark and a Waratahs player. They've been at it for the last couple of minutes down there.
Well, so the umpire's given it straight to Braith Hodges and gone, let's get on with it, and he does. Jack Long stays on the ground. It's punched away. This doesn't look good for Saints. Hodges has had to try and pick it up, but there's Waratah players everywhere. And in fact, the umpires are blowing their whistle, and the trainers are making their way out to Jack Long, is it?
Yeah.
Is that Jack on the ground?
That is Jack, yeah.
Okay, so he's very slow to get up. Play's been stopped. And I think what you'll find is Hodges will have to take the kick again.
So they're getting around a Waratahs player there, so they're not happy with... And Raphael Clark...
Is it Westerberg? No. Clark's not very happy at all.
No, there's been a bit of niggle down there.
Jog. Fourth quarter here at Marara. Game in the balance. 18 points the difference. 10 minutes gone.
A bit of feeling in this game now starting to creep in.
No, the ball's going to be balled up. So they earned a free kick from a high tackle on Jack Long. Play was allowed to be restarted in order to disperse the players. And then the trainers were called, as Jack Long wasn't moving much. So we just have a hold on here as Tyler Saunders makes his way into the stoppage. Umpire Jamison Galbraith just getting everyone to settle down. He said he's going to ball it up. Asking for the ruckman to nominate. Westerberg versus Delahunty. One out by Delahunty. Shannon Rioli. Hurried kick away. Oh, picked up lovely by Joel Stevens. One grab goes towards the contest, but it's tapped over for a point. And the margin drifts out to 19 points as Raph Clark kicks it onto the Ryan McMurray. He can't quite get there. He tries to get bumped off the ball. Godden is there to contest. McMurray keeps his feet and keeps it in. They're only about a half a metre in from the boundary line. Now it goes out of bounds. Great work by Ryan McMurray from St Mary's. 2-on-1. And he drew square.
Great play, Ryan. His second and third efforts were really good, and he really showed leadership and tried to get the ball moving forward for his team.
Two should always beat one, but not in that instance.
Boundary throw in. Delahunty's trying really hard to get his team on top. Paredes ducked into it. The umpire says play on. Zobel goes without it. Again, the umpire's letting it go. Well done. It comes out to Mincook. And then finds his teammate in Stevens, Joel Stevens. Look to play on when it goes back now. Drives it into the 50, and that's a good kick by Abe Ankers. 48 metres out. Pushes Raphael, no, that's Tyler Saunders, his Thunder teammate. Back to where the mark is. He just needs to go back and kick the footy here, Abe Ankers.
Is there a time limit?
Well, there is, but Tyler Saunders is not helping his case by constantly touching Abe Ankers.
So now
by that stage, I probably would have paid a 50 against Saunders for the constant push away.
Well, you're a very good umpire as well, Ash Manakara, so you would to just stop it, I think. So he goes back. Abe Ankers hasn't kicked a goal yet, but can really seal this for Waratahs. It's a shocking kick straight off the side of the boot. Raphael Clark's underneath it. Comes down to a player and Flanagan drives the goal home for Waratahs. Yeah. Geez, that could be the sealer in these conditions. So Waratahs have kicked their 8th. Flanagan has his first. Played a good game as well, Samuel Flanagan. So Waratahs just kicking away here.
I think just Waratah's too good. Abe Akers kicked the ball, centred it. Yep. Good punch by Waddell, and then Flanagan was there on the drop and centre, hit the ball. Waratah's been more or less done that all game. He's front or centre.
Right place and time as it just comes here and he just nails it home. So Waratah's 8-9-57, leading St Mary's 3-14-32, 13 and a half minutes gone.
I will say this about Flanagan, he's earned that goal because he's really been one of their better players today for Waratahs. He's really earned that. Smith again managed to get his hands on it, over to Edwards. Edwards, though, his kick gets caught and there's a turnover and it'll go to Tars, and that's Jordan Gardner. Jordan has got Sam Godden out wide. He's about a metre in from the boundary line, takes his time, sets it up long down the line. It's 2-on-1. It's punched away. And the ball will be thrown in 55 metres around McMillan's Road end, which is the Michael Long Learning Centre end here at Marara. Waddell will go off against Smith. Smith too far deep, punched away by Waddell. Then quick kick looked like by Abe Ankers. Can't pick it up as McMurray's trying hard though. Smith over there to help. Ball is loose, putting his toe in there with Shannon Rioli, and he's been pinged for kicking in danger. No, in fact, he's received the free kick.
It's good to see Jack Long back on the ground as well.
Yeah. Here they come again, St Mary's. They're coming out this time through James Power Jimmy.
Oh, great play, Justin Bugler.
Good contest coming through. Blake, hurried handball. Mosquito dances one. Oh, then back to Bailey Zobel, close to best on ground in my mind. Then on to Blake, then on to Bugler. Now on to Mosquito. Mosquito's got runners out wide and he chooses one. Now it's driven up long inside the 50, but Clark from St Mary's will go back, settle it down and ease some of the pressure.
So Clark finds Frawley, still in the defensive 50 here, goes out to Saunders. That's Tyler Saunders. Haven't made any ground here, St Mary's, and that's a poor kick, looking for the young Hodges. His kick is smothered, back to Hodges. Hand passes to Sam Waddell. He's taken high, and the umpires picked out the free kick. It's going to Sam Waddell. So 60 metres out from goal. Sam Waddell has the footy. That's a poor kick. James Poor Jimmy chops it off, plays on, gives it to his captain and Shannon Rioli. He thumps the ball. Good 50, 60 metre kick. Goes over the top, looking for Vergona Ross out there. One-on-one battle. Good battle as well. Just takes his time. Ben Rioli's over there to help. Now it's 2-on-1. Waratah's in favour here. They've got the numbers. Can they get the ball? And the ball goes out of bounds. Well done to Vergona Ross there. Was outnumbered, but the ball's gone out of bounds. It's going to be a boundary throw in the attacking 50 here for St Mary's, around 20 metres from their goal. So good effort there.
Yeah, great play, but also great play by the Waratahs backmen. They never gave up, and just their second, third efforts, they've been really disciplined all game.
16 minutes gone here. 8 goals, 9:57 plays, 3 goals, 4:32. You just feel the time is against them here for St Mary's as Ryan Smith knocks the ball away. James Ray is knocked over trying to pick it up. Jack Long back on his feet and back on the field. Zobel dives on it. He might get away with this. He does, probably a bit cautiously.
I think St Mary's will want to get a move on, and who's going to stand up and kick a goal for St Mary's?
Smith with a hand over the top. Bugler can't get clean air. Picked up by Wilson. Wilson can run and score if he wants to, and he does. He scores a point.
Oh.
Well, I thought that he probably had an opportunity to make a better outcome of that, as the kick-in restart is very, very quick. Oh, the ball is bouncing in favour there, and Flanagan just managed to get the ball off Jordan Gardner, who finds Mincook. Mincook then sets it up inside as James Ray. He bounces off one, then picks out. It's a lottery out there. You can take your pick. Mackenzie's got it, has a bounce, then goes forward. He's got the running Waddell. Frawley going back with him on the flight. They both go to ground. It's loose. Anchor's diving on the ground there, wrapped up by Raph Clark, and he's going to break away, losing his pants. Gives it off to Cantilla, who puts it through.
Well done, Bakers. Well done, Sam Waddell. Waratah's forward line all game has just been really consistent and really just their work ethic has really defeated St Mary's, or really put them to the sword. Well done.
Good, as we just watched on replay here, good one-on-one battle here. Nick Yarran just tried to keep our bankers as the shorts come down. He's still got him, gets the hand pass away to Kim Cantilla and kicks the easy goal for Waratahs. I think that's it for St Mary's. Unfortunately, just that was another 12-point turnaround again. So Anthony Wilson misses a gettable goal at one end, and it goes back and they kick the goal. Waratahs. That's happened a few times in today's game.
9 goals, 9:63, 18-minute mark. Saints 3:15:33.
So 30
Ryan Smith. Right, 30-point ball game. Ryan Smith, the 150 gamer, gives it off to Paredes. Sends it up to Liddy. He's got about 5 metres on Bugler. Now he can't pick it up, so Bugler can catch up. Soccers it out towards the boundary line. And the ball will be thrown in. Matthias Liddy just looking around there asking the question about deliberate out of bounds. Probably not a bad question to ask.
Haven't seen one played in this game.
No.
So the ruckman just slow to get over there this time. So Smith, Westerberg. Smith does well, takes it out of the ruck, turns around, drives it into the 50, looking for Delahunty, tries to take the one-hander, kicked off the ground by Musgrove, I think that was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so Jack Musgrove has kicked his first goal. St Mary's reply, but I think they've run out of time here. So 24 points the difference in favour of Waratahs. Just run out of time and luck here as we watch on the replay that we've got here on our screen. So Delahunty, and just a kick off the ground by Musgrove, just at the right place at the right time, gets it through.
Great play by Kieran Delahunty. He's tried really hard and he's provided an option. Also shepherded the ball for Musgrove to kick a goal. Yeah, just a bit little too late maybe for St Mary's, but the effort was there. And I think Delahunty has at least provided target in the forward line. Just needs more help and support around him in the forward line.
Smith, Westerberg, thumped out by Westerberg to Flanagan, had his handball interrupted. Mackenzie picks it up for Tars, but it's chipped off by Raf Clark. Gives it over to a teammate. Ducks his head, taken high, and a free kick. In fact, play on was the call. Well, a free kick.
I thought there was a free kick.
There was definitely a free kick there from a high tackle. That was Matthew Jeffrey on the end of that.
And on the replay as well, he had him in the headlock as well as they went to ground.
Going to protect the ball player. Smith wins it out. Ray, hurried handball away. Westerberg goes to ground. Oh, Jack Long comes in, has just taken high, and he's lost it. I reckon that's going to make match review. I reckon they'll have a look at that on video, and I'm keen to see what Westerberg does here. Maybe we can get a replay up.
Jack Long took him out. Jack Long went and gave him one in the ribs. It was probably...
No, but then he's cleaned up Mackenzie around the neck, and that's where the free kicks come in. We'll see if we can get a look at it, but he's not messing around Mackenzie. He's given it straight off to Justin Bugler, who kicks it into inside the 50. No clean skills in there at the moment. It's just loose on the ground. Saunders can't pick it up quietly. Now it comes to Cantilla. Cantilla with a right foot snap at goal. And I think the goal umpire is going to give that the all clear.
So he's kicked his second in this quarter as well, Cantilla. Well done, Waratahs. They just played on there, didn't worry about the scuffle that was happening over here, and got on with the football. So we watch on the replay here. You see Jack Long?
Yeah, and when he's not looking. So we'll see how the match review committee looks at that. But then let's just see what happens with Mackenzie.
Got him in the ribs, and then just a bit of a high shot there.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see what happens during the week with Jack regarding that one there. But Waratahs played on with the ball and just played to their strengths, kick it into the open, and Cantilla and Kieran O'Neill have just really owned the forward line up there, and they've just really taken who wants to kick a goal.
You know, forget the goal, forget the scoreboard, and this has been a very entertaining game as the two sides have gone at each other consistently for 4 quarters. Still loose on the ground. A lot of passion now comes in as we're well and truly into time on. 21 3/4 minutes gone here in the 4th term. 10 goals, 9-69. 4 goals, 15-39. Smith and Westerberg. Can't punch it away as Flanagan. It's a little bit of volleyball. Oh, taken hard was Ben Rioli. Play on is the call. Cleaned up by Flanagan, who decides to have a bounce. Then Anchors took out Paredes on the Shepherd. Over the top, Raf Clark got interfered with in the marking contest by Waddell, and Raf Clark will go back and have a kick.
Great play, Rafi Clark. So much experience there. Yeah. Great mark.
He had eyes on the ball the whole time.
He's got Paredes. He just needs to get the ball here. Now that opportunity's gone there, so he's going to play on here, Raf Clark. And again, just that up and under kick, looking for a big ruckman. Smith gets hands to it, then it comes down to the front. Nate Paredes ends up with the footy, drives it long, looking for Shawnee Edwards. Good mark on the chest by Shawnee Edwards. He goes around, plays on quickly. Matthias Liddy's on a lead. He's left his player. Hand passes to Anthony Wilson, tight to the boundary, and he's gone out of bounds there, Wilson. And they're letting him know all about it as well. Probably a quiet game for Anthony Wilson, and he's given away the free kick. And I think that's the second time today he's given away the free kick, Anthony Wilson.
And can I say to you, match review panel will have a close look at that too. If we see a replay of that.
That was good pressure by the Waratahs player there.
Yeah, Zobel just put him under pressure.
Zobel has had it all over him in this game, and he's let Anthony Wilson know all about it as well. And again, they play on quickly. Delahunty then takes out the player late.
And he's going to get a 50 against him.
There's a bit of jumper punching, not much else than jumper punching in that one. So 50, that's the second 50 now against St Mary's. And Jack Long's just letting the umpire know all about it as well.
I was going to say, Simpson was interfered with after the mark.
I think St Mary's will wish that they don't get any more discrepancies. I think else happens after this game.
So out on centre wing there, good tackle by Waratah. That's McConnell, 2-on-1. He's done well, McConnell. Well done, McConnell, out on centre wing. Gives it to Abe Ankers, who was running past. Delivers it into the goal kicker, Kim Cantilla. Can't keep his balance. Poor Jimmy kicks the ball out for St Mary's, finds Frawley. He plays on quickly, up and under kicker as well, asking a lot of McMurray out there, I think it is. He's taken by Clark. The umpire says play on. It comes out to Timmy Mosquito.
Good play.
Clark's going to chop this off. He does. Good experience there. Shannon Rioli looks into the midfield, finds his cousin in Jack Long. So Long has it, dances around, player on the mark, out to Paredes. Paredes has Delahunty on, hand pass over the top. Delahunty can give it back, he does. Paredes needs to be quick with it. Dancing around, lowers his eyes again and finds Anthony Wilson.
Great kick.
So directly in front of goals, Anthony Wilson. Been very quiet, started the first quarter well, but has been well held by Bailey Zobel, who we probably think is probably one of the best on grounds out there. So Anthony Wilson from about 35, kicks it, and he's got his first goal of the game, and he's got St Mary's fifth. So Anthony Wilson gets the goal for St Mary's, but it's a little bit too late as we hit the 25-minute mark. Waratah's 10-9-69, St Mary's 5-15-45, just on replay here. So Nate Paredes just dances around, lowers his eyes and hits up a target in the corridor.
Who would believe that start of the fourth quarter that St Mary's only 2 goals down, and now it's just skyrocketed. So it just goes to show Waratah's mentally and physically were the better team, and have adjusted and worked harder with St Mary's tried, and I think missed a couple of opportunities, and I think it really affected them mentally. So well done to Waratahs.
You know, if you just look at that scoreboard, we're talking about 20 scoring shots to 19. There has been nothing in this, scoreboard aside, as Mackenzie comes out with one of his many kicks in this second half here at Marara. Over the top, quick hands from Godden to Stevens. Stevens, burrowing short kick, finds Cantilla. And he just tells his teammates, I'm going to go back and have a kick.
He can kick his fourth.
Don't worry about that. It could be his third for this quarter, isn't it?
Yeah, third, sorry.
His kick is third for this quarter as Cantilla will go back. He's directly in front. He's going to kick from 40 out.
Sees the breeze is swirling around down there. Just looking at the flags. Might be a storm rolling in here a little bit later.
He's actually not in a bad spot, Kim Cantilla, as the clock slowly ticks down. And you would have to think there cannot be much longer left as Cantilla looks like he has kicked true. The goal umpire goes to the middle of the square. The siren sounds at 26.5 minutes. Waratahs, 11 goals, 9-75. Beat St Mary's, 5 goals, 15-45. 30 points the margin.
So they've run out 30-point winners here, Waratahs over St Mary's. A brilliant game of football, and looking forward to next week's game as well.
I think just a really good overall team spread by everyone. I think Waratahs, of the whole 4 quarters, have even spread by all their players. They're leaders, but also they're not good players. Where St Mary's only, you could probably figure a couple of players really sprinkled out there. Best players for Waratahs are Sam Godden, Justin Bugle, Abe Akers, Sam Waddell, Bailey Zabel, Tim Mosquito did really well. For St Mary's, Ryan Smith, Ben Rioli, Nathan Paredes, Tyler Saunders and Anthony Wilson.
And the goal scorers from this end, well, Kim Cantilla with that last goal right on the siren became their leading goal kicker for the day. He's ended up with 3, all of them coming in the 4th term. He looked dangerous for most of the day but couldn't get on the scoreboard. Sam Waddell ended up with 2, then 1 each to Sam Godden, Timmy Mosquito, James Ray, who unfortunately for James got reported, and I would say to you from what we saw on the replay, that doesn't look real good. In fact, I think the player on the receiving end and James Ray will both have headaches going into next week. Geordie McKenzie had 1, Samuel Flanagan earned 1 in the 4th quarter after a tireless day's work, and Henry Keranua. Well, for Saints, Sean Edwards had 2, Raph Clark had 1, Jack Musgrove had 1, and Anthony Wilson had 1, and then there was literally a host of point scorers after that, and that's probably disappointing because when you look at that scoreboard, it's 20 scoring shots apiece, and for a large chunk of the game, Saints were in front in terms of scoring shots by 4 and 5.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was a good game of footy. As you said, the scoreboard probably doesn't reflect the arm wrestle that they actually had. But thank you, Fred Murphy, for coming and giving us special comments. Ashley Manakaris, good luck with the umpiring tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed the match, and we will be back next week with St Mary's taking on Nightcliff.
She's flying down to Alice today.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts. Garden furniture!
Love you too.